It's Bum Phillips against Don Coryell and 55,000 plus. Houston has a few rooters here. Richard Ellender is the big Houston return man. And he is going deep along with Carter Hartwig to take the kick from Mike Wood, who'll be kicking off from our right to our left. Roman Gabriel was on CBS Radio on the Sun Bowl. Did you enjoy doing that?
I sure did. That was my first opportunity to do radio, and now I'm getting a chance to work with the old pro, with you, Jack.
We'll have some fun, Roman, and it should be a heck of a football game. There's certainly a lot of drama involved. Mike Wood, who started the season with the St. Louis Cardinals, is the kickoff man. The crowd is on its feet. One of these teams will bite the dust, and the other will go on to the AFC title game. Couldn't ask for better playing conditions than they have, including the playing surface.
The playing field is in great condition. The grass is green. I think the Chargers are looking for a touchdown right off the bat. They sure would like to stop Houston right away.
Bob Fouts, the father of Dan Fouts, the sports announcer, he'll be by with us at halftime saying hello. He's an old friend of ours. And how proud he must be of his kid. But it'll be a while, Houston hopes, before the Chargers get the football. Meanwhile, we'll get an early look at Gifford Nielsen. Earl Campbell will play. Kenny Burrow will play, but they'll not be full speed.
That's right. They both have slight injury problems. It could take away a lot from that Houston offense.
Here's the kick by Mike Wood. High in the air, inside the 5, and taken by Hartwig on the 2. He's to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, and to the 25, and that's it. Houston will go from our left to our right, from their own 25-yard line. Let's pause 5 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the CBS Radio Network.
Sherman Kaplan reviews fine dining here on News Radio 78, WBBM, Chicago.
Keith King, the San Diego linebacker, made the first tackle of the game. Gifford Nielsen will bring the club out from his own 25-yard line. Carpenter is in there. Earl Campbell is not. Carpenter the tailback in the I formation with Tim Wilson the upback, and Gifford Nielsen at the controls. Motion. And the give is to the upback, and that's Wilson. He gets 5 over the left side, running right at Fred Dean. I saw the Oakland club do that, and they demolished Fred Dean, the right defensive end of the Chargers.
Well, this is what Houston's going to have to do. They're going to have to come out and at least apply some pressure by running the football to keep San Diego's great linebackers up around the line of scrimmage so Nielsen can throw the ball downfield.
The tight end is Mike Barber. He goes to the left side. Mike Renfro is in there, along with Rich Castor, so Kenny Burrow is not playing. And it's 2nd down and 5. Second man through. Carpenter trying to get outside. He's hauled down from behind. He got 2 yards. It's going to be 3rd down and 3, and Mike Williams, the cornerback, really forced the play.
Nowadays, Jack, you have to have a cornerback that not only can cover one-on-one situations, but he has to be able to come up and meet the run. And that's what Mike Williams did well because Carpenter was on his way.
And Houston's going to have to show that they have the fortitude, the guts to throw the ball. Otherwise, San Diego's going to be climbing all over them.
That's right. They have a good pass rush. They line up in that 4-3 defense, 4 defensive linemen coming all the time, and they'll probably be coming hard here.
It is 3rd down and 3 from their own 32 for the Oilers, and Nielsen hands off to Carpenter, and he tries for the first down and came very close to it at the 35. Let's see what kind of forward progress they give him. He made a first down. So Houston has not thrown the ball yet. It's their first down. Fred Dean and Gary Johnson made the tackle. Leroy Jones, Wilbur Young, Gary Johnson, Fred Dean are up front with Ray Preston, Bob Horn, Woody Lowe, the linebackers, Willie Buchanan, Mike Williams on the corners, Mike Fuller, the strong safety, and Glenn Edwards in there at the free safety spot. He didn't play in the last game that the Chargers played. First down from their own 35 for Houston. Pastorini will not play at all this afternoon. On a first down play, here's a give to the tailback, Carpenter. Carpenter gets 3 over the left side, ran into Bob Horn, was stopped there. The play was stopped as Carpenter was in an upright position. He's a pretty good running back, Roman. A lot of teams would like to have Rob Carpenter.
I think so. He sprained an ankle this week in practice, but he's out there gutting it up. The money's on the line, and that's what you have to have. They don't have Earl Campbell, so they got to have Carpenter in there to play.
Carpenter is 6'1", 214 from Miami of Ohio. Campbell may try to play, but here at the outset, Houston is going with Tim Wilson and Rob Carpenter, and it is 2nd down, 7 from their own 38 for the Oilers. Rich Castor and Mike Renfro are both to the right. Barber, the tight end, on the left side. Carl Mock, the center, snaps the ball. The give is to the upback Wilson. He gained only a yard over the left side. He was walloped by Gary Johnson. They're good up front, the Chargers are.
They're good not only against the run, but they're also good against the pass. Houston is doing, I think, what they set up to do. They come out trying to control the ball on the ground, hopes to take some pressure off of Nielsen. Then they can go to some play action if they can continue to move the ball. But now they're in, a 3rd and 8 situation. They probably got to go to that tight end Barber coming across the middle.
He's going to have to throw now. Wilson is out and Ronnie Coleman checks in. The 5th defensive back, Pete Shaw, is in for San Diego. From their own 38, Nielsen back to throw. Has time, steps up and throws, and in the air, batted around, and the ball is caught. It is caught inside the 50-yard line by Mike Barber. He got a lucky bounce on the ball and a first down at the 48, a 15-yard pickup.
Well, they had to go there. They doubled both the outside receivers. Barber was one-on-one on Preston. Preston had good coverage, but Barber made the fine catch.
So the young quarterback Nielsen is 1 for 1, and I bet he's feeling better now.
That always helped. That first completion gets those jitters, and I think he'll be all right now.
At the San Diego 48. Movie Clark checks in at the fullback spot now. And the give is to Wilson over the right side. Very little. Got only a yard on the slant. And Wilbur Young was the first to meet him. Ray Preston finished it off. And San Diego really feels that Nielsen's not going to be throwing on first down. You can tell the way they're acting.
They're coming after him. Regardless of what he does, they're going to come and get him. They're going to have to start mixing it up now. I think they've established the idea they can run the football on the Chargers. They're going to have to start going to a little play action because if they have to drop back all day, he's not going to have much success.
Very importantly, the Oilers have kept the ball for about 5 minutes. And that's important. They don't want their defense out there all day chasing Fouts and company around. No gain on the last play, and 2nd down and 10 from the San Diego 48 for the Oilers. On the snap of the ball, the give is to the running back, and a slant over the right side gains good yards as Booby Clark moves in there. There's a fellow that could make a difference today if he turns it on.
Yeah, he used to go real strong with Cincinnati, but he hasn't carried the ball that much with Houston. That time Houston goes against the grain. They come back to the short side of the field on a slant to the right side with the Chargers moving to the wide side of the field.
Booby Clark carried the ball to the San Diego 42, and it's 3rd and 4. Plays are coming in with George Rayner and David Carter, the 2 guards. 3rd down and 4. 2 tight end offense now for the Oilers. And there was movement by the left guard. David Carter, he might have cost his club 5.
Boy, that kind of thing hurts in a situation they're in good field position.
First flag of the day goes against Houston. That's one thing about bringing those guards in, carrying the plays. They're not in there for more than 1 play at a time. Sometimes a little difficult to get acclimated.
That's right.
Number 58.
So many times a quarterback goes up and he might see something and want to get out of a play, but because it took the play so long to come in, he doesn't have that time to audible.
Now it's 3rd down and 8. The ball back at the San Diego 47. Early today, Tampa Bay defeated Philadelphia 24-17. There's no score here. And Nielsen is back to throw. And over the middle, and it is dropped off the hands of Mike Barber. He batted it up in the air and had a second grab at it, but couldn't haul it in. It would have been short of a first down. And now it's kicking time, and Cliff Parsley comes in, and that's what the fans here in San Diego like. They want the Chargers with the football.
I'll tell you, that was a good call, though. They delayed Barber at the line of scrimmage and let the linebackers drop out of there. He might have had a shot to run for it.
Parsley averaged 41 yards a kick. He'll kick from his own 40. Mike Fuller is back to get it. Fuller on punt returns this year averaged almost 10 yards. Here's the kick toward the sideline away from Fuller. It's short, bounces high at around the 20, goes inside the 20, and it's down by Houston at the 18. And the Chargers will go from there. Well, 6 minutes and 3 seconds of possession for the Oilers, but they didn't score. That was only a 29-yard punt. And now Dan Fouts comes into the game, and what do you bet he throws on first down?
If I was a betting man, I think I would have to go with that. That's the way the Chargers have moved the football all year long. I don't believe they're going to come out and show us anything different.
We have a timeout with 8:57 remaining in the first quarter. And time to look over the offense of the Chargers. They have Bob Rush at center, Doug Wilkerson and Ed White at the guards, Russ Washington and Billy Shields at the tackles. They have some big offensive tackles.
That's what it takes to keep those defensive ends out, because your defensive ends now are 6'5", 6'6", Washington 6'7", Billy Shields is 6'8". They both have a lot of strength, a lot of power. Washington's played a long time. What's this, his 172nd game in a row? That's what you have to have, leadership on that offensive line.
Fouts during the year completed 63% of his passes, 24 TD throws, 24 interceptions. Those figures shake you up, 24 interceptions?
Well, 24 interceptions might bother you, but he's thrown so many passes. He's up around 560 throws, and that's like one interception per 22 throws. But he's doing all right, and I don't think the 24 interceptions is a big factor when you put the ball up as much as he has.
And he has some people to throw to. John Jefferson, they call him JJ here in San Diego, and Charlie Joyner are the wide receivers. Joyner is split left, and Jefferson is flanked to the right. Thomas is in the backfield with Clarence Williams. And here's Fouts back to throw on first down. He threw incomplete to Joyner, who was wide open over the middle. Fouts kept the ball low, but Joyner had his feet go out from under him.
Well, Joyner came down after Lydell Mitchell went in motion right to left. Houston tried to double Mitchell, and they left Joyner all alone, who was curling at about 10 yards over the center of the field.
Well, immediately, San Diego takes out the tight end, Bob Klein, put in the third wide receiver, the rookie John Floyd. So they have three wide receivers, and it's second down and 10 from their own 18. Five defensive backs are in for Houston. And Fouts is back to throw again. He drops it off short. It's caught at the 25, and coming out to about the 27-yard line is Lydell Mitchell out of the backfield. It's going to be third down and short yardage as Fouts hits Lydell Mitchell. It's not tough enough trying to cover Joyner and Jefferson. Now they have a fellow like Mitchell who came catch the ball coming out of the backfield.
The Oilers have a tough job ahead of them because generally you come into a ball game and you try to take away a number one receiver. But San Diego has too many of them. They got guys that caught 72, 61, 51. So who do you double coverage? There's no one you can double.
Two tight ends are in for the Chargers, Bob Klein and Greg McCrary. Hank Fowler checks into the backfield with Clarence Williams on third down and a yard from their own 28-yard line for the Chargers. And they were in danger of running out the 30-second clock, and they call timeout. Timeout, San Diego. 8:06 left in the first quarter. With a score, Houston nothing, the Chargers nothing. Let us take timeout.
If you've been waiting for the right time to buy a new 1979 Buick, your time has definitely arrived. For a limited time only, Buick is making it possible for your Buick dealer to offer outstanding savings on America's most admired automobiles. Almost all of his 79 Electras, LeSabres, Centuries, and Regals. Stop in and look over the selection and the savings at your Buick dealers now. Hurry. Don't let the time or the Buicks run out.
This bud's for you, for being on the job and working hard all day. This bud's for you, for all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
This bud's for you, for all you do. This bud's for you.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
San Diego is faced with third down and a yard. Roman Gabriel, Jack Buck back with you from San Diego on a lovely afternoon. This American Football Conference playoff game between the Oilers and the Chargers. Oilers had the ball for 6 minutes and 3 seconds, had to punt. San Diego currently in their first possession, trying for their first down. There's no score. Earlier, Tampa Bay eliminated the Philadelphia Eagles 24-17. Now the next game for Tampa Bay will be either at home against Los Angeles or at Dallas. Hank Fowler and Williams in the backfield. Here's Fouts back to throw. Gambling on third and short. Airs it out downfield. It is caught. Caught by McCrary, the tight end, and he is out of bounds at the 38-yard line of Houston. McCrary, who caught only 5 passes all year, catches a big one here for 34 yards.
They set that up very well. They had a tight formation with McCrary lined up on the left side of the line. He went in motion, and when he did, Fouts turned and made a fake to the fullback, and they dropped McCrary. He was wide open.
To the Houston 38. Boy, they live with that passing, don't they?
Now you come out throwing, as successful as they are, you might as well keep doing it.
Boy, they're really fun to watch, the Chargers are, too. First down at the 38 of Houston. Fouts is back to throw again. What's new? Pops it over the middle. It's caught by Klein, the tight end, inside the 35. He is really walloped by Art Stringer. What a substantial gain for San Diego, and a flag has been thrown. And we have a motion call against San Diego. That'll make it 1st and 15 back at their 43. What do you note so far about these two teams, Roman?
I think so far we're seeing exactly what we thought we would. Houston coming out trying to control the ball with their big people hurt, trying to keep it away from the Chargers. The Chargers putting the ball in the air and taking advantage of what they do well.
Let's listen to the
offense. Illegal motion, number 18.
The call was against Charlie Joyner, illegal motion. Fouts is due 2 out of 3 for 42 yards, and it's 1st and 15. Back at the 43 of Houston. The 5th defensive back checks in with Carter Hartwig in there for Houston.
Well, Houston's got 4 down linemen, Jack.
They're bringing Jesse Baker and Ken Kennard to help with the rush.
We might see that draw now with 4 down linemen.
First down and 15, and Fouts is back to throw, and throws high to Klein, incomplete. Klein had it on the fingertips of one hand, but couldn't hang on. Vernon Perry was covering the strong safety. Frequently, most often, you'll see that strong safety around the tight end. But a lot of people make the mistake whenever the tight end catches the ball, Roman, of thinking that the strong safety messed up the play, and that's not always true, is it?
That's right, because the strong safety has different field positions he played. That time he was going to the left side of the field in a zone, which meant a linebacker was on Klein, and Klein was open, but the ball was thrown a little too high.
John Floyd, the 3rd wide receiver, is in. 2nd down and 15 from the Houston 43. Fouts is back to throw again. Stays in the pocket, drops it off short, and Mitchell dropped it at the 40-yard line. Lydell Mitchell started to run before he had the ball. They say catch the ball, put it away, and then run.
You got to look it in, and a pro like Lydell Mitchell, who's been around catching them for so long, that's a mistake he shouldn't make. That time Andy Darce applied some pressure to Fouts, which caused him to release the ball probably quicker than he wanted to.
Houston has allowed a lot of yards passing in each game.
Houston allowing 172 yards a game, which ranks him about 14th in the National Football League. San Diego might just have a field day.
It is 3rd down and 15. Fouts back to throw again. Runs out of the pocket, sets up. Throws! Caught for first down. 7-yard line by John Jefferson. Jefferson was injured, missed a couple of games. That was a 16-yard game, and he can catch the football.
Boy, I'll tell you, he gets into that void area of the zone very quickly. Fouts needed time to throw, and his big offensive lineman gave it to him. And as a result, they come up with the first down.
That was on 3rd and 15. Down to the Houston 26. A big throw by Fouts and a big catch by John Jefferson. He can jump about 6 feet in the air. They're in the I formation now. Motion by Joyner. The give to the tailback, Lydell Mitchell, trying to pick his way over the middle. Goes inside the 25, down to the 23. Got 3, and Elvin Bethea tackled him. They have some good people up front, Houston does. They use that 3-man front with Curly Culp, Andy Doris, and Elvin Bethea. The 4 linebackers, Ted Washington, Greg Bigham, Art Stringer, and Robert Brazil. That was the first running play for San Diego.
You know, sometimes when you come out throwing the ball as much as San Diego, you might sneak a big gainer in there on a running play, and I believe that's what they tried to do.
6.5 left in the quarter, no score. 2nd down and 8 from the 24 of Houston. Fouts throwing again. He throws to the sideline. It's caught for a first down at the 15-yard line. Spun down as Lydell Mitchell has said, give me another chance. He held on to this one. First down at the Houston 14.
This thing pass offense that San Diego has is a thing of beauty, Jack. They don't force the ball. They'll make you cover what they want, and they get their offensive backs and tight ends on linebackers, and it's difficult for those people to cover them.
Houston has had a lot of sacks this year. They better get after him.
They got 51 sacks. They better start applying a little more pressure to Fouts.
First down and 10 from the 14-yard line. Joyner goes in motion. And Fouts hands off to his running back, Clarence Williams, running wide, trying to get outside. A flag goes down. Another flag goes down as Williams was tackled in the vicinity of the 13-yard line by Vernon Perry. Face mask against Houston. A couple of officials saw that one, and it's going to be half the distance, and it's going to put San Diego right at the door.
Well, if you're going to run the football, that's not a bad place to go. Right behind Ed White, who's been a perennial All-Pro, and the big tackle, Russ Washington, who's been playing for quite a while himself.
Defense, face mask number 32, 5 yards and a first down.
The call against Vernon Perry, who made the tackle, face mask. The ball goes to the 6. It's a first down. First and goal at the 6. Fouts is 4 out of 7, 67 yards.
Well, we'll probably see him try to go to the run now. Once you get in this vicinity, you try to bang it in. It's tough to throw for the touchdown this close to the goal line.
Williams and Mitchell in the backfield. Fouts under center. Hands the ball off to Lydell Mitchell inside the 5 down to the goal line. Right to the goal line, but not in. He got 6 yards, and it'll be second and goal from inches. Mike Reinfeldt finally stopped him, and that looked like the Lydell Mitchell when he was wearing the Baltimore uniform.
Boy, a nice blast play over the right side with Clarence Williams, the fullback, leading the way. Fine block on the inside linebacker. They almost put the ball in.
5 minutes left in the first quarter. No score. Second and goal. Hank Bauer is in the backfield for the Chargers. 2 tight ends, McCrary and Klein. And on second and goal, a handoff to Williams. Dives. Touchdown, San Diego. They started from their own 18 and went in for the first score with a big pass play of 34 yards to the tight end, Greg McCrary, helping to set it up along with a face mask violation against Houston. And they score with 4:49 remaining in the first quarter.
Same play there with Hank Bauer leading the way and Clarence Williams going over top. You just have to root them out about a foot, and that's what the Charger offensive lineman did.
Mike Wood will try to make it 7-0. Mike Fuller is holding the ball. The snap is good. Placement good. The kick also good. Houston had it once. It didn't score, and San Diego scored the first time they had it. There's a timeout on the field with the score. The Chargers 7 and the Oilers nothing.
Will that be you stranded out in the cold? Did you remember to add heat to your gas tank to prevent gas line freeze-ups? Start quickly with Heat. Heat gas line antifreeze improves combustion and positively prevents gas line freeze-ups. Heat helps keep your engine in tune, extends gasoline mileage, and prevents formation of power-robbing carbon. Buy Heat gas line antifreeze today. Don't stall. Add heat and go. And Heat's exclusive new long neck container easily fits all tanks. Protects your hands from spills and chills in winter's cold. The shape is perfect, too, for those hard-to-reach gas tanks. No more skin knuckles, funnels, or flimsy pull-up spouts. Heat protects your car, and its new container protects your hands. Buy Heat gas line antifreeze today. Don't stall. Add heat and go. Heat. H-E-E-T.
Well, it's different now, Roman Gabriel. The Oilers are behind. They'll have to play catch-up football. They have the young quarterback in there, and he's going to have to throw it whether the Oilers want him to or not.
Every time they turn that ball over to San Diego, there's always that threat of the Chargers taking it just like they did in scoring. That's a tremendous confidence builder to take your opening drive and score because you know you're good coming into the game. Now you know you're better.
Here's the kickoff by Wood, and it's Quibbs to Hartway to Ellender. He took it on the 10. He came out to the 15. He came out to the 20. And he was tackled at the 22-yard line on a fine tackle by Jerome Dove, the defensive back, a 16-yard return. That San Diego drive, they went 81 yards from their own 19, 11 plays, kept the ball for 4 minutes and 8 seconds. We have 4:41 remaining in the first quarter. Oilers are at their 22. First down. Gifford Nielsen, the quarterback. Dan Pastorini will not play at all today. Carpenter and Wilson are in the backfield with him. Here's the fake to Carpenter and the first down pass. Nielsen screens it left and off the hands of the running back Wilson, incomplete. San Diego had a pretty well defense, too.
They did. Gary Johnson, the right tackle, spelled that out. It was going to be a middle screen. They come off a play action with it. Nielsen did the right thing in dumping the ball out, not taking the big loss.
Wilbur Young did some pressuring of the quarterback. He's a big dude.
I remember him when we played Kansas City, and now he's down here, Hawking quarterback, 6'6", 290.
You don't like those guys, do you?
No, they're too big. It's difficult to see over them.
Nielsen is 1 out of 3 for 15 yards. Guido Merkins is in as a wide receiver now for the Oilers. We haven't seen Kenny Burrow. Here is a delay to Carpenter, who spins out to the 25. Good for 3 yards. It's going to be 3rd down and 7, and Ray Preston, the linebacker, spun him down. Here in San Diego, they tell me that Preston is probably the most underrated football player in the National Football League.
They have a lot of confidence in him because we've seen the Chargers go into defenses where they let him cover the tight end all over the field, and he's right there all the time.
You get those linebackers that can keep up with the tight ends, you've got something. Houston on 3rd down conversions is 2 out of 3. Bobby Clark is in the backfield to help with the blocking. We expect the quarterback Nielsen to be throwing. 3rd down and 7 from his own 25. Motion by Coleman. Nielsen back to throw. Swings it out to the left, and Carpenter made a good catch. He is out of bounds, short of a 1st down by about a yard. Woody Lowe ran him out. Now, do you gamble early?
I don't think so. Not in this situation. You got to go ahead and put it downfield. It's still too early. Jack, that time, Houston put him in a single coverage situation, and they got Carpenter on the linebacker. I think they're going to punt.
Carpenter made a heck of a catch. He bobbled the ball. It was thrown out in front of him a bit, and then he was banged out of bounds before he could get the 1st down. It's 4th and 1, and Parsley is in to punt for the 2nd time. First punt was good for 29 yards. Mike Fuller was inside his 35 waiting, and the Chargers are going to get the ball again. 3:46 left in the first quarter. San Diego leading 7-0. There's the snap to Parsley, and he kicks it dandy. High in the air and very deep, and Fuller took it over his shoulder at the 20, ran to the 18, back to the 20, to the 25, left sideline, 30, and out of bounds. A fine return by Mike Fuller. He came out near the 33. 1st and 10, San Diego. 3:33 left in the quarter. With a score, the Chargers 7, the Oilers nothing. Let's take time out.
Now from General Motors, the option for the 80s. Thinking about buying a new GM car or light-duty truck? GM has something you should think about. The GM Continuous Protection Plan. It offers comprehensive protection against the cost of major repairs, towing, emergency road service, and rental car expenses for 3 years or 36,000 miles. It makes good sense, but GM wants you to know there are other plans. We say compare. Look carefully at what parts are covered. Ask about the towing, road service, and rental car allowance. Then compare it to the GM Continuous Protection Plan. We don't think you'll find another plan that even comes close. Look for more details in an informative chart in our ad in many major magazines. And remember, when you go to your GM dealer, compare and don't settle for less than the GM Continuous Protection Plan.
It takes care of you and burns apart.
Roman Gabriel, Jack Buck with you from San Diego. 1st down Chargers, their own 34. Out over the ball, Bob Rush. Under center is Fouts. Motion is Joyner. Back to throw is Fouts on 1st down. Swings it out to Williams. Catches it. Gets to the 35. Stumbles. Dives to the 40. Came out to about the 41, and it's a gain of 7 yards. Covered by Greg Bingham, the linebacker.
Well, they set the screen up real well to the right side of the field. They got Ed White and rushed the center out in front of Williams. They're still creating one-on-one advantages for the Chargers by having the backs operate on those defensive linebackers, and that's the way to beat that 34 defense.
It is 2nd down and 3. From their own 41. Motion again by Joyner. The give is to Clarence Williams. He starts outside, comes inside, dives to midfield, and has the 1st down. He came out to the 45, didn't get to midfield. Covered by Art Stringer.
That's a fine play by Stringer. Wilkerson pulled out from the left guard position, coming to the left side. If he could have stayed up a little higher, Williams might still be running.
I'm going to measure to see if he got a 1st down. I think he made it by a couple of inches. Clock is stopped with 2:39 left in the quarter. Earlier today, Tampa Bay 24, Philadelphia Eagles 17. For San Diego at their own 44-yard line. It is the 1st down by a few inches. Roman, your old club, the Philadelphia Eagles, eliminated today.
I was going to say, that really makes me feel weary, but being in here in the Charger Stadium with these fans, that's pumping me back up real quick, though.
1st down from their own 44. Ed White goes out, and Audick comes in to replace him at the right guard position. That made a difference when these Chargers got Ed White. He knows how to play.
He sure does. He played real good football for the Vikings before coming here, and he's doing the same for the Chargers.
1st down. Now Fouts being blitzed, swings it off. He gets it out to Lydell Mitchell. Mitchell is hit at the line of scrimmage, breaks away, crosses the 45, and gets a couple of yards with a lot of effort. Shirley Culp finally took him down. Houston had that well covered. They were blitzing and still had the outside covered. Fouts did a good job of recognizing the blitz and dumping it off in a hurry.
Fouts read his key well. That time the inside backers came. Stringer for Houston came over and played it well, but he just missed the tackle. That's what happens when you blitz it. Those linebackers get a little bit tighter on the backs. Then it's harder to throw to them.
Now the Chargers are at their own 48, second down and 7. Fouts hands off to Lydell Mitchell, running right, cuts it back, and crosses midfield. He's hauled down at the 48 of Houston. We have a minute and a half left in the quarter. Stringer made the tackle, and Bingham finished it off. And it's going to be a third down play. Third down and 3 for the Chargers. Right, the referee sets the ball. Fouts is 6 out of 9. That's all he does is throw the ball.
Right now, they're trying to keep Houston off balance. They've run 2 in a row. I think this is the first time in a quarter they've run 2 in a row.
The first time this year. Third down and 3. On third down conversions, the Chargers are 2 out of 2. And back to throw is Fouts. Needs 3 yards and lofts it long right into the hands of the Houston player. Vernon Perry intercepted at the 20. He's tackled at the 18. A terrible throw by Fouts.
Wasn't very good judgment on Fouts' part. They doubled Jefferson that time with Perry, the safety, going deep. Fouts almost looked as though he thought Perry was Jefferson. Threw it right to him.
51 seconds left in the quarter as Houston gets the ball for the third time. They're back at their 18-yard line. That should inspire their offense a little bit to be behind by 7 rather than 14.
And San Diego moving the ball again. They stop them, and Houston's a big play defense.
Vernon Perry picked one off during the regular season. He had 3. And it's a first down play. Gifford Nielsen, the quarterback. Motion. And back to throw. Nielsen on first down to the right sideline to his big wide receiver, Castor, incomplete. Batted away by Mike Fuller. Fuller's a little guy at 5'10". Castor is 6'5", a little mismatched, but Fuller broke it up.
We might see that play called again later in the game. Castor came in motion left to right. They faked from the eye to the left side, the running play, and Barber, the tight end on the left side, was open downfield. We might see that again.
It's tough for any quarterback, experienced or not, to see all of that on the snap of the ball, isn't it?
It is, especially when they tell you to go to one receiver or another and a new quarterback that hasn't played that much.
Second down and 10. Guido Merkins is in as a wide receiver. From their own 18, the Oilers trailing 7-0. Back to throw. The pass out here to Wilson. Catches it. Goes to their Carpenter. Goes to the 25-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 3. Ray Preston tackle. Carpenter can catch the ball. He's a big threat. Had a good game last week against Denver.
We're going to find out how long he can go on that ankle. He's running pretty well now, but if he continues to get hit, he might go.
Out goes Merkins. In comes Wilson. We haven't seen Earl Campbell. We haven't seen Ken Burrow, and we haven't seen Dan Pastorini, and we will not see Pastorini. I bet he's going crazy on the sideline.
I talked to him this morning, and that groin is really bothering him. He plays with anything, and this thing he must be really in pain.
Houston's going to let the clock run down and mark the end of the quarter. They'll have 3rd and 3 from their own 25 when we resume. That's the end of the first period with the score. San Diego 7 and Houston nothing.
This, Buds, for all those lovely ladies on the sideline to help give the home team a definite advantage. This time, let's hear it for the cheerleaders.
There's no one else who does it quite the way you do. Here's to you. You know it isn't only what you say, it's what you do.
Jack, they work harder than you think.
You said it, Coach, so here's to all those pretty pom-pom girls who dance, yell, and scream to keep the crowd on its feet. Here's to you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says, Budweiser.
It's good for you. For all you do, the king of beer is coming through.
Yeah, and you're sure prettier than those fullbacks and linebackers.
Hey, thanks a lot, Hank.
No, not you, the cheerleader.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
In the first quarter, Houston kept the ball 8 minutes, 10 seconds. San Diego had it for 6:50. That helps the Houston club.
It does. The kind of thing you like to do is come out and keep the ball away from a passing team and scoring team like the Chargers. But the Houston Oilers didn't score. The Chargers did.
These two clubs did not meet during the regular season. And in competition between the two over the years, San Diego has the edge, 15 wins to 10. There was one tie. This is the first playoff game for San Diego since 1965. That was in the All-American Football League. 3rd and 3 for Houston as we resume. They have give to Wilson, or rather Booby Clark, running right, trying for the first down. And he's across the 25, and looks like he got a first down by about a yard.
Well, they swept to the right side that time behind their big right guard. But the Chargers, who pursue well, they have quick linebackers. The linebackers play the pass and the sweep real well.
They're going to measure. I think he made it. Booby Clark was quite a force when he wore the Bengals uniform. They made it by the length of the ball, and so Houston gets another first down.
And they get the first down.
The ball is now at their 28-yard line. Difford Nielsen out of Brigham Young, the quarterback. High formation. Kastner in motion. Back to throw Nielsen. Pops it off to Wilson. He breaks one tackle. No, he didn't. At the 30-yard line, he's hauled down, got only a yard. Woody Lowe wouldn't turn him loose. He tried to deke Lowe, and Woody stayed right with him and dived at his feet and brought him down.
That's surprising that the reputation the Charger linebackers have of getting back so deep. And what the Oilers are trying to do is fake play action and then go to screen passes up around the line of scrimmage, but the Charger linebackers are still there.
That's the voice of Roman Gabriel, longtime Ram and Eagle quarterback. He's with us here in San Diego today. 2nd down and 9. Rob Carpenter is the lone setback. And Nielsen delays it to Carpenter, who breaks across the 30, tries to get outside, hauled down from behind, but moved across the 35-yard line and came out to about the 36. Leroy Jones stopped him. Going to be a 3rd down play coming up. 3rd down and 2.5 for the Oilers. That Carpenter really can take off.
He finds the hole very fast. They ran a draw play to the right side. Good call against a 4-man rush, especially when that 4-man rush is not stunning, and the Charger defensive linemen weren't.
We're early in the 2nd quarter. The Chargers are leading 7-0. Their fans want them to dig in and stop the Oilers on 3rd and 2. Booby Clark, Tim Wilson in the backfield. Nielsen gives the ball to Clark. He is all down, and he might have lost the yard at the 35 by Wilbur Young. Big tackle.
Big play by the Charger defense. Wilbur Young, all 6'6" of him, laying across that hole. Difficult to get over top of a hog that big.
Wilbur Young gets credit for the tackle. The defensive unit applauded by this 55,000-plus crowd. And Parsley's going to punt for the 3rd time. He kicked one 50 yards the last time. Mike Fuller stands inside the 25 waiting. 3rd punt of the day for Clip Parsley out of Oklahoma State. A long count, hoping San Diego will charge offside. They do not. There's the snap, and there's the kick. It's another dandy by Parsley. Fuller is forced back to the 22, returns to the 25, to the 30, tackle there, hit hard, and the Chargers will go from their 30-yard line with 12-11 left in the half. And with the score 7-0 San Diego, let's take time out.
Give yourself a special present this year. Visit your Buick dealer during his Buick Holiday Get-Together.
It's a Buick holiday get-together.
And talk to him about a deal on a Buick LeSabre. A very comfortable, full-size Buick at less than top price.
Buick holiday get-together.
Buick LeSabre, a nice addition to your Christmas list indeed.
It's a Buick holiday get-together. This bike's for you, for being on the job and working hard all day. So here's to you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Here it's 7-0 San Diego, 12-11 left in the half. Earlier, Tampa Bay 24. They defeated the Philadelphia Eagles, who had 17 points. Next game for Tampa Bay will be at Tampa Bay against L.A. or at Dallas, pending the outcome of that game tomorrow. 2 broadcasts tomorrow on CBS Radio. Early at 12:25 Eastern Time, Miami at Pittsburgh with Tim Ryan and Jim Kelly. And then Hank Stram and I will be in Dallas and on the air at 3:55 Eastern Time. First down from their own 31 for the Chargers. Lydell Mitchell goes in motion. Williams in the backfield. Fouts back to throw on first down. Drops it off to Williams. Gets to the 35. Dances to the 40. Dives to the 42. Rolls to the 43 and has a first down.
Difficult coverage for the linebacker. Mitchell coming all the way from the other side of the field and then breaking down on the right hash mark, moving the linebackers out. He just drops it off to him.
The ball came out to the 43 of San Diego.
First down on the 42.
Ball to the San Diego 43, a first down. Tight end Bob Klein sets up on the right side. First down pass again. Fouts throws left to the sideline. Wide open. Joyner catches the ball out of bounds at the Houston 41, bumped out by Stimrick. And was Fouts on target then?
Fouts was on target once again. Stimrick was supposed to come up and cover the outside flat area, but he was running with the receiver in motion, which left Joyner wide open on the sideline.
To the Houston 41. So a moment ago, an 11-yard pass play. And then this one to Charlie Joyner to the Houston 41. With 11:22 remaining in the half, the Chargers are on the move again. They disdain the run. They just throw. From the 41. Bounce back to throw again. Drops it off. Screen to Williams. This one's going to go. He's to the 35, gets a block, and he's tackled at the 36. And tackled at the 31-yard line. And they got about 9 yards on the play. J.C. Wilson tackled him.
Well, a team will sit in that three-man line and four linebacker look to try to get the four linebackers into pass coverage and hopefully take away the pass. But San Diego is causing those linebackers to get out of their routes and come up and take the backs quick. They're throwing little screen passes, little checkoffs across the middle, and it's tough on Houston's linebackers.
They're measuring for a first down, and San Diego got it. A first down at the Houston 31. Fouts is hot. 9 out of 12, 115 yards, but he did have one intercepted.
One costly interception that might have taken him out of field goal position.
At the 31-yard line with a first down, 11 minutes left in the half.
Well, the experienced quarterback doesn't let the interception bother him, and that's what Fouts has done. Come right back, putting the ball in the air.
John Jefferson goes left. John Floyd is in as a wide receiver. Joyner goes in motion. Back to throw is Fouts again. He throws short, dropped by Klein. Klein had shaken loose at the 25 and tried to run before he had it. Incomplete.
Klein delaying across the middle that time, was open. Should have caught the ball. Fouts had big pressure on him, but he still was able to deliver it. Fouts has a fine release. He gets rid of the ball very quickly.
Second down and 10 now from the 31-yard line. The score is 7-0. San Diego on top. Three wide receivers, Jefferson, Joyner, and Floyd are in. And Klein is out. They have those big tackles. They can afford to take that tight end out of there. It's second down. San Diego quarterback delays the ball to Williams, and he almost fumbled and was tackled immediately, and he lost some yardage on the play. That wasn't a very good-looking play.
No, it wasn't. The Oilers came with a blitz from those inside linebackers. I think at that time the Chargers were expecting them not to blitz, and hopefully they hit a trap up the middle.
Jesse Baker, the good rookie, was the one who made the tackle. He's out of Jacksonville State. What a fine first year he's had.
What's he had, 15 and a half sacks this year?
He's big on that pass rush.
Another Deacon Jones in the making.
The line of scrimmage is now the 32, and it's third down and 11 for the Chargers as Fouts wants to throw. And throws at the 20, and it is caught short, well, maybe very close to a first down by John Floyd right on the deck, right on the ground.
A good pattern, a curl pattern on the right side of the field. That's heads-up football. He knew exactly where he needed to go to get that first down.
To the Houston 20 for a first down. 9.5 remaining in the half.
I see why they don't run, Jack. They try a run and they lose yardage.
Yeah, they say you got to run to be able to throw, but that's not the philosophy employed by the Chargers. They go the other way.
I think they run just to let you know they'll run. Or try to or attempt to.
Bob Klein is back in there. The tight end is on the left side. First down at the Houston 20. Fouts hands off, and Lydell Mitchell dances to the 15, gets down to the 14, moves to the 13-yard line before he stopped. His feet were really moving, weren't they?
They sure were. There's a perfect example of the pass setting up the run. They've been throwing on first down, and now they come with the run. Houston doesn't know what to do.
There was a 7-yard gain that time by Lydell Mitchell. He had those happy feet dancing down the middle and took it to the Houston 13.
Feet are always moving forward, those good backs. They always go to the goal line.
Fouts has completed passes to 7 different receivers in this game, and now he calls timeout. It's the second time out he has had to employ here in the first half. We have 8:28 remaining in the half. A timeout on the field with a score, San Diego 7, Houston nothing. Brent Busberger will be joining us at halftime. Roman Gabriel is with us today. Roman, what are your other activities these days?
Well, I'm running a health club down there, Riverside, and also coaching and teaching at College of the Desert in Palm Desert. I have a son that's playing ball there.
No more football for you?
No, I feel too good now when I get up on Mondays and have no aches and pains.
The ball is at the 13-yard line of Houston, and it is second down and 3 for San Diego. Clarence Williams is the setback. Klein is on a wing right. The give is to Williams running right. Klein got a good block, and Williams dives to the 10 for a first down. What a good block by Bob Klein. He stood 2 people up.
That's a fine block. Klein actually was lined up off the line of scrimmage. Then he had to come forward a couple of yards to get into his man. Good play by Klein. Big, strong tight end. Used to play for the Rams.
He retired, and the Chargers got him out of retirement, and he saw a chance to be in a championship club. He made the right move, didn't he?
Well, he's one of the few smart Rams still around.
Williams carried the ball down to the 10, smack on the 10, and it's first and goal. San Diego already leading 7-0. They're in the eye. Motion by Jefferson. Fouts gives to Lydell Mitchell. He got a block from Williams and drove down to the 6-yard line. Over the left side for 4.
One of those big tackles. That time, Billy Shields, the left tackle for the Chargers, opens up a big hole. It's really tough for Houston now. They don't know whether San Diego's going to run or throw.
Houston is tough down in here. It's tough to run it in against them.
It is, but San Diego putting men in motion, keeping them off balance, taking the ball off tackle.
Second and goal from the 6. Jefferson is to the right. Joyner is split left. Fouts hands off to Mitchell, who slipped and was buried for a loss of a couple of yards. Man, he really got drilled. Andy Doris ran right into him as he was falling over backwards after slipping.
Andy Doris looked like he was part of Lydell Mitchell's jersey.
It is now third and goal from the 8. 6:40 left in the half. San Diego leading 7-0. They're within field goal range, of course, but they'd like this TD. Third and goal from the 8.
Well, we might see him go tight end down here.
Klein is lined up on the right side. And back to throw is Fouts, end zone, and incomplete, and almost intercepted. Down there covering was J.C. Wilson, and he darn near had that ball that fell.
The ball was thrown behind Jefferson, and Wilson actually was in good coverage, had good position, but didn't pick up the ball.
Roman Gabriel, I think you called it. Klein just rush blocked and slipped into the end zone, and he was in better shape to catch the ball than anybody.
I thought so, too. He slipped out of the line of scrimmage and looked as though he might have been open.
The ball will be marked down on the 16, a 26-yard attempt by Mike Wood out of southeast Missouri. Fuller gets it down, and it's blocked. It was a low snap. The ball's picked up by Houston. Return to the 30, 35, 40, 45 midfield. Down to the San Diego 35, and inside there to the 28-yard line by Vernon Perry. And a saving tackle for San Diego by little Mike Fuller, who was holding the ball. It was a high snap. It allowed the ball to be blocked, and Vernon Perry returned the ball all the way down to the 28 of San Diego, a return of 56 yards after a blocked field goal. 6:10 left in the half. Timeout with the score, San Diego 7 and Houston nothing. Let us take timeout.
15,000 miles between changes? STP is so good you could. 15,000 is a lot of miles. STP is a lot of motor oil.
15,000 is a lot of miles to run. From tough with a cold and hot summer sun. But FCP motor oil is so good you could, so good that it's good to know it's good enough to run 15,000 miles. FCP motor oil is so good you could.
We change our oil by the book every 7,500 miles.
With STP motor oil, you could go twice as far.
FCP motor oil is so good you could, so good that it's good to know it's good enough to run 15,000 miles.
You might not run at 15,000 miles, but
FCP motor oil is so good you could.
15,000 miles or 1 year between oil changes, whichever comes first, under normal driving conditions with engines in good condition.
Earlier in this game, Vernon Terry intercepted a Dan Fouts pass, and now he just blocked a field goal attempt. Returned it 57 yards to the San Diego 28. There's a high snap, Roman, that set everything off.
High snap destroyed the timing, and then the ball was kicked low, which allowed the defensive lineman for Houston to get in there and block that thing. Houston now sitting in a good position. They're on the 30-yard line of San Diego. This wouldn't be a bad situation for some type of play action.
San Diego drive went 61 yards, 12 plays, 6 minutes, and they got nothing out of it. They had first and goal. So they're still leading only 7-0, and Houston is hanging tough despite all the obstacles in front of them today. Gifford Nielsen, back from the 28. Hands the ball off to Wilson, the up back, and he went over the left side and could only get a yard and a half or so. He was really slow moving with that ball, wasn't it?
It didn't look very good there. That play was slow developing, and San Diego has too much quickness to try to come in there with a slow running play.
Gifford Nielsen is 4 out of 7, 29 yards. He's thrown sparingly as he fills for Dan Pastorini, who will not play today. We want to remember to thank the Budget Rent-A-Car people here in San Diego for treating us so well. Budget is the CBS Radio sports team car rental company. Budget, where second down and 9 as Wilson got only a yard. And here's a delay to Carpenter, running outside, needs a block, gets to the 20, 15, and out of bounds at the 11 of San Diego for a first down. Pete Shaw bumped him out.
Big play. They set up in a slot to the right side, forced San Diego to play the wide side left field, and came back in there and handed the ball Carpenter on what we call a roll draw. The fullback goes first, then you give it to your halfback. Was nobody to the left side of the field. Good run by Carpenter.
He really slipped outside easily, didn't he?
Found daylight. Found a lot of daylight out there.
Trying to move in for the tying score. It's a first down for Houston at the San Diego 11. 5:20 left, 5:24 left in the half. Nielsen gives the ball to Carpenter, busts inside the 10-yard line and moves to the 7. Got 4. Mike Williams tackled him. Carpenter playing very inspired ball as he did a week ago against Denver.
He had a lot of yardage in that second half. I think he had 59 yards. And it looks like today they're going to use him a lot, too.
Carpenter has rushed for 36 yards on 7 carries. Mike Renfro is out. Guido Merkins is in as a wide receiver. He and Rich Castor come to the left. It's second down and 6 from the San Diego 7. Nielsen to Carpenter, running right. Stopped in his tracks. Did not get back to the line of scrimmage. Leroy Jones broke it down.
Boy, Jones came down. He crashed underneath the tackle. Stopped that play before it could develop.
Are they playing with a straight rush, Roman, or are they doing some little games up front?
They're not gaming that much. They're coming with the 4 defensive linemen. Very little blitzing. In fact, I haven't seen a blitz yet. They're relying a lot on that front 4, and they are coming strong.
Jones, Young, Johnson, and Dean are the front 4 for San Diego. It's 3rd and 8 now from the 9 of the Chargers. Nielsen is back to throw. He looks and zings it into the end zone, incomplete. Where in the world was he throwing that ball?
It looked as though Renfro was coming from the right side on a slant pattern. He got a little pressure and put the ball up. He might have been able to get it into Mike Renfro if he'd had a little more time. That's what pressure will do, though.
So Tony Fritsch comes into the game. He kicked 21 out of 25 field goals during the regular season. The ball will be held by Nielsen. Fritsch, little fellow, will try a 26-yard attempt. Left in the half, and Fritsch kicks it through for the first Houston points of the day. So the block field goal at one end, field goal at the other. A pause in the action with the score now. San Diego 7, Houston 3. Let's take time out.
If you've been waiting for the right time to buy a new 1979 Buick, your time has definitely arrived. For a limited time only, Buick is making it possible for your Buick dealer to offer outstanding savings on America's most admired automobiles. Almost all of his 79 Electras, LeSabres, Centuries, and Regals. Stop in and look over the selection and the savings at your Buick dealers now. Hurry. Don't let the time or the Buicks run out.
This bud's for you, for being on the job and working hard all day. This bud's for you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through. This bud's for you.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Tony Fritch is going to kick it off. Artie Owens is back along with Hank Bauer inside their 10 for the Chargers. The score is 7-3 now. San Diego, and there's the kick. High and rather short. Artie Owens took it on the 11, up the middle of the 15, going left, hurdles at the 20, and walloped it about the 24-yard line. So the Chargers get the ball back. That was a 14-yard return by Artie Owens. Let's pause 5 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the CBS Radio Network.
John Case brings you the great outdoors on News Radio 78, WBBM, Chicago.
Steve Baumgartner made that downfield tackle for the Houston Oilers. They're right in this game, Mr. Gabriel.
Well, Houston using their weapons. Tony Fritch, 22nd field goal of the year. Or 22nd field goal coming into this ball game.
Here's Fouts back to throw from his own 23. Dumps it off short, and Williams is smacked down after gaining a yard by Art Stringer. Trying to flare it out to Clarence Williams coming out of the backfield.
Whenever San Diego has the ball and they run with it, you sort of lose your excitement because you're so used to seeing them put it up.
I wonder if Fouts can run forward. All he does is get the ball and start backing up.
You got to be one of the fastest guys getting back in football.
3:20 remaining in the half.
They're forced to put it up now.
Joyner and Jefferson are both to the right side. John Floyd is the third wide receiver. Joyner goes in motion. Fouts back to throw on 2nd and 9. Swings it out to Williams. He dropped it. A little swing pass out to about the 20-yard line. Thrown a little low, and Clarence Williams couldn't hang on. Fouts is 11 out of 17, 129 yards, 1 intercepted.
Now, they set that up well. Joyner and Jefferson both flank to the right side of the field. One goes deep, one goes to the sideline. Fouts looks at the coverage. If the linebacker drops out of there, he tries to dump it off to his back, who's also in the same area.
They take some covering. It is 3rd down and 9 as Fouts throws again. He throws long down the middle, intercepted. Intercepted by Vernon Perry for the 2nd time today. He laterals the ball off, and the tackle is made at the San Diego 38. Mike Reinfeldt was tackled by John Floyd after taking the lateral from Vernon Perry, who's had 2 interceptions and a return of a blocked field goal. He's having a game.
Well, both of those throws that Fouts has had for interceptions, again, that ball was thrown behind the receiver. Joyner, actually a wide receiver with more speed than Perry, who's a strong safety. Ball was thrown behind. The ball would have been thrown up a little bit. Joyner would have had a catch.
So an interception for the 2nd time against Fouts. San Diego's lead is only 7-3. And with Gifford Nielsen at quarterback. The Oilers, he's back to throw. He fell down, he came up, he got it out to Wilson. Wilson is down to the 35 and tackled at the 33-yard line. Houston hurrying up on their offense. 2:45 left in the half, but they have all of their timeouts remaining. San Diego has but one. Wilbur Young made that last tackle after a 5-yard pickup by Tim Wilson. 2nd and 5 from the 33. These fans are a little apprehensive of what's happening here.
Not hearing too much. Now they're starting to crank up just a little bit, giving us that go defense.
Wilson in the backfield, the only setback. Here is the delay to Wilson. No place to go. Had to dive to get back to the line of scrimmage, and Leroy Jones had a hold of him.
Wilson doesn't look as though he's moving very quickly. We mentioned that earlier. The ball, he's getting the ball back to him, but he's not moving too fast.
We're coming up on the 2-minute warning right now. When we resume, it'll be 3rd and 5 for Houston at the San Diego 33. There's a 2-minute warning and a timeout on the field with the score. San Diego 7 and Houston 3.
Don't close your eyes to the problem of harsh, annoying light in your home. Instead, install General Electric soft white bulbs from True Value hardware stores for soft, pleasant illumination without annoying glare. Hi, Pat Summerall to tell you GE Soft Whites feature a milky coating inside the bulb that softens the light to reduce the glare and shadows. And because there are fewer shadows and less glare, General Electric Soft White bulbs are easier on your eyes. True Value hardware stores offer GE Soft Whites in 60, 75, and 100-watt sizes to suit any room's lighting requirements. See what a difference they'll make in your home. Soften room lighting and reduce annoying glare and shadows with GE Soft White bulbs. They're just part of the complete selection of General Electric bulbs at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers. And save gas. You won't have to drive far for your hardware and houseware needs. If you're looking for value, service, and selection, you'll find them nearby at any one of the more than 5,000 True Value hardware stores and home centers nationwide.
The offensive line for Houston, Carl Mock, the center, Conway Heyman, Leon Gray are the tackles, Ed Fisher, David Carter are the guards, and George Rayner alternates at the guard position. 3rd and 5 for the Oilers. They have the ball at the 33 of San Diego. They're not really in good field goal position. 2 minutes left in the half. 7-3 San Diego leading.
Now let's see. They go to Mike Barber. Barber's been open.
Barber goes in motion to the right. Nielsen is back to throw. Good protection. Throws. And it is caught right at the 28-yard line. And the man is spun around and brought down. And let's see where they mark the ball on the forward progress. Short of a first down. Carpenter came down to about the 28-yard line or 29-yard line. Pete Shaw, Ray Preston, Bob Horn all spun him around. Tough job for the official to mark the forward progress on that one.
He was right on that 1st and 10 mark.
Timeout is called by Houston with 1:42 remaining in the half. That was a 3rd down play, and it kind of looks like they're short a couple of inches as they measure in the vicinity of the San Diego 28.
His second effort almost looked as though it carried the ball to the mark.
Houston got a first down at the 28-yard line on that 3rd down play as they measure.
That makes an official's job tough, don't it? Those kind of calls.
Carpenter seemed to lose a little bit of yardage with his second effort, didn't he?
Yeah, he had about 3 different efforts there. The first time he went upfield, he got knocked back, and 2 other times he got knocked back.
Houston has 2 timeouts. They have a first down. We'll call it the 28-yard line of San Diego.
Now they have plenty of time to get this ball in the end zone. 1 minute and 42 seconds. They're on the 29-yard line. They don't have to throw the ball up. They can mix it up, draws, screens, maybe hit a trap play up the middle.
Renfro and Merkins are the wide receivers. 2 tight ends are in there. And Nielsen's back to throw. He gets it off quickly. It's caught at the 25 by Wilson. Drives to the 20. He's out of bounds at the 17, and that is going to be another first down for the Oilers. Fuller bumped him out.
Now they put Wilson
did a good job, didn't he?
Wilson did a fine job. They had him in motion coming to the left side. Fuller was in a strong safety zone, so that was his flat area. He didn't get up in time to cover.
The ball is now at the San Diego 18. Wilson also stopped the clock by getting out of bounds with 1:35 left in the half. Imagine if Houston were to win this game without Pastorini, Campbell, and Burrow.
What will they be like when those 3 get back?
From the 18-yard line of the Chargers, Nielsen back to throw on first down. Chased out of the pocket. A lot of room to run. He's to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5, and down he goes to the 4. And I'll bet Bum Phillips is holding his breath. He was walloped by Pete Shaw. It's going to be 1st and goal from the 4 as Nielsen ran to the 4-yard line. And he is up and apparently all right. Tough kid.
Tough kid. He didn't look as though he was moving very fast.
Another timeout used by Houston. They have 1 more remaining, 1:11 left in the half, and they have an awful lot of time to do what they want to do.
They can still take their time, try to get some of that time off the clock and still score and give San Diego no time. That play was effective because Nielsen dropped straight back and Fred Dean lost his containment from the right side. Nielsen came outside. Good play by Nielsen.
Ran for 14 yards. He runs like I do. I know you've never seen me run, but that's the way I run.
I was going to say he runs like me, slow but sure-footed.
He's slower than he looks. But it's 1st and goal at the 4. Punk sets the Cotton Bowl a couple of days from now, Tuesday, the 1st of January, 1980 from Dallas. Hank Stram and I will be there with all the coverage for CBS Radio Sports starting at 2 Eastern Time, Nebraska against Houston. That should be a pretty good matchup.
Looking forward to watching that game and listening to you and Hank.
1:11 left in the half. Hank Stram and I will be together in Dallas tomorrow for their game against your old club, the Rams, Roman Gabriel.
Well, I'm getting used to turning on the TV and cutting off the sound and listening to you and Hank.
We'll be on hand in Dallas tomorrow. Earlier today, the Philadelphia Eagles were eliminated by Tampa Bay 24-17. Nielsen is 7 out of 11, 51 yards, and no interceptions.
Showing a lot of poise, Nelson.
Mascarini hasn't played and will not play. It's first and goal. Ruby Clark in the backfield on a double wing. Motion by Carpenter. The give to Clark, running left, trying to get outside. Drives inside the 5 to the 3. He gained only a yard. He ran a long way to pick up a yard and a half.
Well, Carpenter came out, tried to pick up the safety. He almost had him. If he could have gotten him and taken a little more starch out of him, we might have had a score there.
Clark ran to the 3-yard line. Now we have 48, 47, 45 seconds left in the half. Houston has one more timeout. They're trailing 7-3. It's second and goal from 2.5 yards away. Full house backfield, T formation. The give to Wilson. Hit at the 1. It'll be third and goal from the 1 as Wilson carried, and now Houston uses their final timeout of the first half, and they're a yard away from going ahead. We have 29 seconds remaining. Now, Wilson's a big running back, Roman. I didn't realize he was as big as he is.
6'3", 220. He doesn't start quick, but once he gets that 220 pounds in front of him, he's tough to bring down. We used to have a play down here on the goal line where we'd sprint the quarterback out, put the tight end into the end zone, and have the halfback go out to the flat and lead with the guard. You either throw it or run it in. This might be the time for it.
You know, Houston might be in a little trouble here, Roman. They have no more timeouts remaining. It's third down and goal from the 1. If they run and don't get it in, the clock will start with 29 seconds left with the snap of the ball, and they may have difficulty getting that field goal team on the field in time to do anything.
If they do get him out there, it's going to be a little hectic. That's why I think perhaps in this situation, a good sprint out play with the quarterback running or having a chance to dump it out of the end zone can stop that clock and still get a shot.
Either dump it out or run out of bounds and still get the field goal if the play doesn't develop.
Right. Still have a shot for the field goal.
Crowd yelling defense. Well, the Oilers are about a foot away from the goal line. They're actually inside the 1. And out they come. With a full house backfield, they have some big backs. It's third and goal from the 1. Here's Nielsen holding the ball, keeping the ball, throwing, incomplete to the end zone. He had his man, the tight end Barber, wide open, and made a bad throw.
Bad throw, you're right there, Jack. He had the play action fake to Wilson coming from left to right. Barber checked down and then went into the flat behind Fuller, who had played for the run. Ball was thrown behind him. They had a touchdown.
Ball was thrown behind him and over the end line. Just a terrible throw, and he had a lot of time because his faking was very good.
Very good. Probably the only good thing that he did there was not throw an interception. At least they have a shot at the field goal.
So Fritch will try for an 18-yard field goal. He kicked one earlier. The only Houston points, and he'll try to make it a 1-point difference here. Nielsen will hold the ball. He sets it, and Fritz kicks it, and it is good, and a flag goes down. With 22 seconds remaining in the half, we'll check and see what the flag was all about. Well, that really hurt Houston. They had first and goal from the 4 and had to settle for 3, but earlier...
San Diego had 12 men on the field. The kick is good. 12 men on the field. San Diego.
On the field. Now, the kick is good, and... now they're talking it over down there. They would have first and goal to go if they decline the play and take the penalty. They'd be about 6 inches away, Roman. But they have no more timeouts and only 22 seconds remaining.
No, they can still get 2 plays off.
No score. Fourth down.
We had a guy who was ineligible.
So they're going to take the penalty. And they are not going to accept the field goal, and it'll be first and goal from inches away, 22 seconds. You can actually run 2 plays in 22 seconds.
They can get 2 plays off.
12 men on the field. Boy, those officials are really on the stick, aren't they?
They're doing a fine job today in this first half. I think it's still 4th down, though.
No, that's an autumn.
No, they're still giving them a 4th down. They're a half a foot closer to the goal line. Well, looks like they might send a big guy over the top.
Well, why didn't they do this before? They may not get anything now. Out of a double wing, Booby Clark is a setback. They toss it to him. He runs left and gets a touchdown. Houston gambles with 19 seconds left in the half. They tossed it to Booby Clark, and he made a terrific cut.
Booby Clark coming from right to left on the pitch out. Fine play, all his effort that time. They looked like they would have had him for a loss, but Booby Clark flashing some of that greatness. Good decision by the Houston coaches.
Well, why didn't they do that before? They were only a yard away, and the clock was stopped.
They were a yard away, and they got a half the distance to the goal, which put them 1 foot closer. I don't know.
They kicked the field goal. San Diego had 12 men on the field. They took the penalty, got the ball. It was still 4th down. And now Tony Fritsch will try to add to the Houston lead, which is 9-7. Make it 10-7. How about this? Without Ken Burrow, without Earl Campbell, without Dan Pastorini, Houston apparently will have the lead at intermission.
And the nice thing about that drive there is they achieved what they wanted. They scored their touchdown, ran time off the clock, only 19 seconds left for the Chargers in this half.
All of this happened after the interception by Vernon Perry at the San Diego 38. And they kept the ball for 2 minutes and 37 seconds, the Oilers did. Boy, they're a tough group. Roman, it would have been easier to put their tail between their legs and say we have no chance.
The nice thing about the Houston Oilers is that they show a lot of character and they have a lot of guts, which you can see on the field, because earlier in the game the Chargers continuously came after them, but the defense hung in there and continued to give the Houston offense some time to score, and they're there.
And with the young quarterback, Gifford Nielsen, leading the way. This is his 3rd year in the league, so he's not a green rookie. But he really hasn't played that much. And with him leading the way, Houston has the lead. 19 seconds left in the half. And Fritsch will kick it. Artie Owens and Hank Bauer are deep. And Fritsch kicks a line drive that is taken by Bauer on the 4. He's to the 10, up the middle to the 15, to the 20. Tackled at the 25 and spun down around the 27 with 12 seconds left in the half. The Houston Oilers have taken the starch out of the San Diego team, the crowd, and everything else. A 24-yard return by Hank Bauer.
I know there's much being said right now in this stadium. I wonder if you get the feeling that San Diego might put it up with 12 seconds to go.
12 seconds to go in the half. A couple of interceptions that Dan Fouts has thrown have changed this game around.
Sure has. It's really hurt him, and both of his interceptions haven't been good ones. They haven't been on the mark.
Jefferson and Joyner are to the right. Joyner goes in motion. Fouts back to throw. Clock running, less than 10 seconds. A pass over the middle. Caught by Jefferson, and he is creamed at about the 47-yard line of San Diego by Vernon Perry, who is playing a heck of a game. Clock is stopped with 3 seconds left in the half, a 21-yard gain. San Diego uses their last time out.
I sure respect that decision. San Diego, a passing team, 12 seconds to go in the half. They come out and they're going to try to put points on the board. Most teams would just sit down on the ball and wait till the second half.
They still have a long way to go. They're at their own 48. Here's a good way to start your weekday mornings, folks. Check the sports scene with Win Elliott, Jim Kelly, and the Sports World Roundup. It's our earliest network sports broadcast. Both Win and Jim bring you wrap-ups and a rundown on what's to come. Listen here tomorrow morning and every morning to this CBS Radio Network station. Earlier today, Tampa Bay eliminated the Philadelphia Eagles 24-17. The action tomorrow will find Miami at Pittsburgh and Los Angeles at Dallas. You know, the Rams have been around so often, Roman. They're about due to pull some. I'm not predicting that they're going to win, but they're liable to get some breaks in a ball game sometime and just surprise a lot of people.
Well, still one of the teams that I played for. They're in the playoffs, so I've got to pull for them and hope for maybe they will do it this year. It's been a long time for them.
Only 3 seconds remaining in the half. First down, San Diego at their own 48.
Now they're almost forced to go deep, try to get the touchdown. They don't have enough time to go short and set up a field goal. They got to go for the touchdown.
I thought there'd be more scoring in this game than this, didn't you?
I thought so, too, especially the way the Chargers came out early.
It's 10-7 Houston as Fouts takes the snap from center and goes back to throw. And he airs it out way downfield. Houston has a host of defenders back there, and Vernon Perry knocks it out of bounds. And is he the star of the game so far?
I think so. Vernon Perry's played one whale of a game already, and we've only seen one half.
Brent Musburger is going to be joining us here very shortly. There's the end of the half. The crowd in San Diego doesn't like it. The gun sounding the end of the first half with the score. Houston 10 and San Diego 7.
Look, no ticket, no shirt.
Come on, give me a break. I lost the ticket.
All right, you have a recent photo of yourself wearing the shirt?
No, but my name is right on the collar.
You
Look.
think you're the only Francis G. Sighton spinner that comes in here?
Boy, financing my car was simpler than this.
Sure, raise your right hand.
Really, my GM dealer arranged convenient GMAC financing right in his showroom.
Repeat after me.
He gave me terms to fit my budget. He did it all.
I, Francis G. Sidon Spinner.
So complicated.
I, Francis G. Sidon.
GMAC Financing. We uncomplicate things.
This winter, hundreds of people may die because of the cold, many of them in cars. But many of these lives could very likely be saved with a Thermos emergency blanket. It keeps you warm even in sub-freezing temperatures, yet folded up. It's no bigger than a pack of cigarettes, and it costs less than $4. A Thermos emergency blanket is as necessary as a spare tire. Put a few in your glove compartment. It could save your life.
Here in San Diego, the Helix High School band from Mesa, Arizona is entertaining at halftime, and Houston surprisingly is ahead by the score of 10-7. Officials done a good job of maintaining control of this game. Here's the kick by Fritch. It's a line drive, and Artie Owens took it on the 9, 10, 15, 20, 25-yard line, hit at the 30, and knocked down at the 35. There's a line drive kick, and you could see a good return coming.
Have to have a good return. Ball gets downfield too quick. Kick at that, it's hard to cover those line drives.
27-yard return before Richard Ellender made the tackle.
So often you hear coaches say that turnovers will kill you. Houston had no turnovers. San Diego had 2 interceptions. That's probably the big difference in the ball game right now.
And a blocked field goal along with it. First down from the 35-yard line, and Fouts back to throw on first down. Throws it to the right sideline, broken up and almost intercepted by the linebacker, Ted Washington. He ordinarily has good hands. He intercepted 4 during the year and almost got that one.
Well, it was a little short out pattern to Jefferson. Jefferson downfield about 5 yards, but Washington played it well, and the ball was thrown a little too easily. Fouts tried to get it up over him, but he didn't get enough on the ball.
Roman Gabriel, right now you have to say that Fouts is having a bad day.
Fouts' ball is taking off on him a little bit. He's releasing a little high, and the ball is not getting down.
On second down and 10 from the 35-yard line, Fouts is going to wing it out again. He throws left and incomplete. Threw it too high. Threw it too high to Lydell Mitchell, and it'll be third down.
Actually, Jack, that ball was thrown pretty good.
Was it?
Yeah. Ball was hit him on the run. Mitchell coming out of the backfield, angling towards the flag. Fouts couldn't have thrown too much better than that. Mitchell should have caught that one.
We're early in the third quarter of this game. 3 wide receivers now. J.J., John Jefferson, Charlie Joyner, and John Floyd are in there. Floyd's a rookie out of Northeast Louisiana. And he comes to the right. Joyner and Jefferson to the left side. No tight end at the moment, and back to throw is Fouts. Needs 10 yards over the middle, and it is caught in midfield. To the 45-yard line goes Charlie Joyner for a first down, tripped up by Carter Hartwig.
Well, there's the situation that you like. Our good defensive player for the Oilers, Vernon Perry, was matched up on Charlie Joyner. Difficult for a strong safety wide receiver. And they had that matchup that time.
Play carried to the Houston 45-yard line, a first down. Big pass play.
That's the kind of momentum the Chargers needed to make that third down.
From their 35 to the Houston 45. Joyner and Mitchell are in there. Mitchell on a wing. Mitchell is out of there now, and back to throw is Fouts. On first down, he throws, caught at the 30-yard line by the tight end Bob Klein. Tripped up by J.C. Wilson. Another first down, this one at the 30-yard line, and Fouts is hot.
Well, there's the pattern that you anticipate a zone with. The safety drops back to the deep area, the corner up to the flat, and your linebacker straight back.
Penalty flag was thrown, Roman. The ball's marked down on the 29, and they're going to mark off more yardage against Houston.
Big play for the Chargers.
All the way to the 14.
Well, Bob Klein, who found the open area in that zone, picking up yardage in an extra little bit.
The personal foul against Houston. Roughing the passer with Robert Brazil to the 14-yard line. Fouts on first down. Sees Klein set up as a tight end to the left side. And here's Fouts tossing to Williams, running right, cuts inside, gets to the 10, and down inside the 10-yard line. Near the 8, got about 6. J.C. Wilson tackled him, and the Chargers have a head of steam now.
Yeah, they sure do. It was a big block by Lydell Mitchell as he hooked Washington, the outside linebacker. Fouts turned and pitched back. Big play. That's the kind of yardage you want to get when you're down this close to the goal line.
The ball's at the 8 of the Oilers. Second down and 4. Mitchell and Williams in the I. Klein, the tight end on the right side. Bouts tosses the ball to Lydell Mitchell. Cuts inside, goes to the 5, goes to the end zone for a touchdown from 8 yards away. What a run.
What a run. A lot of missed tackles. A great run by Lydell Mitchell off the pitch sweep. Well, they're back, Jack. Listen to that crowd.
Crowd came right back with them, didn't they?
Well, that sure did. That's the kind of thing that'll pump them up.
We have a seesaw game. San Diego led 7-0, 7-3, trailed 10-7. Now they're on top 13-10. Mike Wood out of the hole to Fuller kicks the ball through, and it's 14-10. San Diego by 4 with 13:08 remaining in the third quarter. And with a score now, San Diego 14, Houston 10. Let us take time out.
This Bud's for all the men in black and white. Yeah, to the guys who always have the last word. Here's to the referee.
There's no one else who does it quite the way you do. So here's to you. You know it isn't only what you say, it's what you do.
Just for you guys who blow the whistle and fling the flags. Here's that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
I don't always agree with him, Jack, but where would we be without him?
Well, sometimes you'd be about 15 yards closer to the goal line.
It's Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
You deserve it, refs, so take time out after the game for a cold Bud. It just might be your best call all day.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
The winner of this one will be playing on January 6th. If San Diego wins, they'll be playing at home. If Houston wins, they'll be playing at Pittsburgh or at Miami. Mike Wood will kick it off. Richard Ellender is deep along with Carter Hartwig. They're inside their 5, and San Diego's on top 14-10. Good football game now, Roman Gabriel.
Certainly is. A real good ball game. Again, the crowd played a part. First half, they brought the Chargers out, and they scored. Now they've done it again in the second half.
Here's the kick by Mike Wood. It heads for Hartwig. He takes it on the 14, 15, 20, left sideline, 25, spun out of bounds. Houston has good operating position. Downfield was Cliff Fripp, the linebacker. There was an 8-yard return.
Well, the important thing now is for Houston to come back. They have to move the football. They don't want to give it up right away.
Ball is at the Houston 27 with Gifford and Nielsen. Out of Brigham Young at quarterback. Tim Wilson in the backfield. Kenny Burrow is in there for the first time. And he's to the left. Nielsen gives the ball to Wilson up the middle, and he comes out to the 35 and beyond. On a quick pop, and Mike Filler made the tackle. Big yards by Tim Wilson.
Just a straight dive right up the pipe by Wilson, coming off the center Mock, who had a great block on the middle linebacker.
Wilson got off the ball better that time than he had in the first half.
They must have told him about it at halftime. Wilson has 7 rushes for 19 yards.
And he carried for 9 yards that time. And the ball is at the Houston 37. Wilson is a lone setback, double tight end. He goes to the right. He gets a first down, and he comes out to midfield.
Number 45.
Came out to midfield, Wilson did. Fuller and Horn tackled him.
Number 42, Mike Fuller.
Wilson running well, carried to the 50-yard line. 14 yards.
Houston coming out in the second half in that double wing set with the 2 tight ends and only Wilson remaining back. They must have found something out at halftime, and they've taken advantage of it here.
They did this against Denver last week, 2 tight ends, and they knew they were going to run, and they still made it go. From midfield, Nielsen on first down. Fakes to Wilson. Back to throw. Chased out of the pocket. He is sacked for the first time today. Sacked back at the 39-yard line is Gifford Nielsen by Leroy Jones and Gary Johnson.
Gary Johnson, Nielsen had no way to get rid of the football.
The flag is down. The flag is down, and it's against San Diego.
Penalty flag on the play.
Mike Williams evidently was holding Kenny Burrow on the pass pattern.
No wonder Nielsen couldn't find his receiver downfield. Mike Williams holding Burrow, keeping him out of the pattern. Big break for Houston.
5 yards defensive holding, first down. The ball is at the San Diego 45.
Now, this is what Houston has to do, control that football. San Diego scored one, so Houston doesn't want to lose the momentum.
What a big swing. Instead of being way back at their 39, they have a first down at the 45 of San Diego.
Now, this is what Houston has to do, control that football. San Diego scored one, so Houston doesn't want to lose the momentum.
What a big swing. Instead of being way back at their 39, they have a first down at the 45 of San Diego.
Good field position.
Merkins and Renfro wide receivers. Here's the reverse. The ball coming to the tight end. Barber waits for a block. A flag goes down. A fumble. And at midfield, the ball is recovered by Houston. Flags are down.
Yeah, I think
the end around play.
I think we got a clip there. The big tackle.
Looked like Leon Gray.
Yeah, it looked like he got him.
And Gray is slow in getting up. Gray, who did the clipping, is hurt.
How many times have you seen one team be penalized and then a couple of plays later, the other team gets it right back?
Gray is shaken up on the play. We'll see if he remains in the game. He really helped that Houston offensive line.
All-pro performer. He'd be a big loss if he wasn't able to play.
Kenny Burrow checks back in. Just his very presence in the game changes your pass defense, doesn't it?
It sure does. Because they know he can go deep, and he also has size to go up high.
That's the fourth Houston penalty. Total of 35 yards. And now they have to go all the way to the San Diego 35, and the ball is back at their 41. First down and 25.
Try to make it all up in one play. You still have 4 downs.
Nielsen on first and 25 is back to throw. Pops it over the middle and incomplete. Trying to get it out at midfield to the tight end Barber. Incomplete. He really is not taking enough time to set up and throw, is he?
No, that time he might have taken a little more time and he would have had a completion, but he had pressure in there as Gary Johnson was right on top of him when he released that football.
So it's second down and 25. 11:27 remaining in the third quarter. San Diego has the lead 14-10. The penalties have swung things around here in the past moments.
Difficult thing to do here, Jack, is try to throw downfield because the linebackers for San Diego are so quick they get a lot of depth on their drops.
Booby Clark is the setback for Houston. They tossed it to him. He's trying to find a place to go. Dances around, gets to the 40, tackled at about the 43-yard line. Fred Dean brought him down. It was a terrible toss by Nielsen right at the face of Booby Clark. He was lucky to catch it.
Almost, you wonder if that was a design play because he started to his right and came back to his left even before he got the pitch.
3-yard advance.
Now it's going to be third down and 22. Charlie DeJournay comes in to help with the pass rush for San Diego. Leroy Jones goes out.
Now's the time when the coach doesn't send him to play.
Call whatever you want, huh? Third and 22 from their own 42 for the Oilers. Rob Carpenter in the backfield. Nielsen back to throw. Takes a deep drop. Caught by Carpenter. He gets to the 45, but spins away, and he gets to the 49 before they stop him. It'll be kicking time for Houston. Ray Preston wrapped him up. I would say that this crowd support for the Chargers is worth just about the...
Especially when their team's on top, they're really vocal. Even if the Chargers aren't on top, because it does mean quite a bit of lift to them.
Cliff Parsley is punting for the 4th time today. He's averaged 41 yards. Mike Fuller is inside his 15 waiting for it. San Diego leading 14-10. Third quarter. High snap. Parsley gets it. Parsley kicks it. Whoa, what a dandy kick. It goes over the head of Fuller, bounces inside the 5, rolls to the sideline, and it's down inside the 5-yard line by Houston. What a kick by Cliff Parsley. A few fisticuffs break out upfield. No flags have been thrown. That was a 49-yard punt.
That ball bounced on the 2-yard line and then took a lateral bounce and went right towards the sideline.
And the ball was down to the San Diego 2. 9:38 left in the third quarter. No penalties thrown after the brief altercation. There's a timeout on the field with the score. San Diego 14 and Houston 10.
Liberty Savings. Liberty Savings.
John Ramus for Liberty Savings. Why not let Liberty Savings at its 5 convenient offices become your friendly financial family, as it has been to 4 generations of savers since 1898? As you might expect, Liberty has the new 30-month certificates available, paying the highest rates anywhere. And this is only one of our many savings plans that can be tailored to your requirements. Along with the highest interest rates, Liberty Savings has gifts galore when you save. Remember, at Liberty, it pays and pays and pays. Member FSLIC.
Liberty Savings. Liberty Savings. On the principles that make America strong.
5 offices, including one at Dundee, at Rand, and Palatine, make up friendly financial family. Liberty Savings.
Roman Gabriel was remarking earlier that the San Diego Charger crowd is more like a college crowd.
They are. You're seeing that more and more every day.
First down from their own 2. Hank Bauer in the backfield with Clarence Williams. Bauer blocking for Williams, who pounds out to the 5-yard line. Got 3, 2nd and 7.
Straight up the middle, a safe play, trying to get out of the end zone to get a little working room.
What a punt by Cliff Parsley a moment ago. It hit on the 2-yard line, went straight up in the air, and then it started bouncing parallel to the goal line, and it bounced about 30 yards, hit 3 different times, and never did change direction.
I haven't seen one like that in a long time.
It's 2nd down and 7 for the Chargers from their own 5. With Bauer and Williams. Hanging on to the football is imperative now. Williams running right. Gets out to the 10. Beyond the 10. First down. Out to the 14-yard line before Reinfeldt stopped. There's Williams.
Power play to the right side. Williams taking the handoff from Fouts, and Ed White leading around the right side. A big block by Ed White.
And a block also by Hank Bauer, the other back. Williams carried to the 13.
Williams now has 9 rushes for 26 yards. I guess that's a lot of yards whenever you throw the ball as much as they do.
And he's also caught the ball 4 times. Lydell Mitchell is in. Joyner comes in motion. Here's the give to Williams, running left, trying to get outside. He is hit on the 11, spins forward to the 12, and lost a yard on the play. Going to be 2nd down and 11. The linebacker, Ted Thompson, one of the 4 Houston linebackers, made the hit. They have a good group of linebackers on these Oilers.
They do. They have good size and good quickness, just like the linebackers of the Chargers. That's the kind of thing they're looking for. Guys that are 6'3", 6'4", 225 can run down backs and run, 4'6", 4'7", 40. That's very good speed.
I guess we'll see Mr. Fouts throw the ball here, huh? Back at the 12-yard line, 2nd down and 11. Fouts is back to throw. Stays in the pocket, throws over the middle, incomplete, and he threw that into a big crowd out around the 25-yard line, and lucky to come away incomplete.
He had Bob Brazil right in his face as he let that one go. I think he was aiming it for Bob Klein, who turned over the middle. If it hadn't have been deflected, we might have had another interception.
3rd down and 11 now. Fouts has been intercepted twice. Nonetheless, San Diego has the lead, 14-10. On 3rd down, they've made a first down 4 times in 6 tries.
Well, we might see Fouts try to get the ball to his back coming across the middle of the field. Isolate him on a linebacker.
Wide receivers are Jefferson, Joyner, and Floyd. 6 defensive backs are in there for Houston. And on 3rd down, Fouts is back to throw. Over the middle and incomplete. Out around the 40-yard line, he led his man, Charlie Joyner, who couldn't quite get to it. Joyner had split the seam, was in a good spot.
He had a double zone coverage. The backs came inside, held the linebackers, and Joyner had split that seam right on the left side. Ball wasn't thrown well enough.
This will be the first punt of the game for Jeff West. He averaged 36 yards per kick during the regular season. Houston will end up in good field position. Richard Ellender is at midfield waiting for it. 7:27 left in the 3rd quarter. San Diego on top 14-10. It's a good snap, and Jeff West walks into it and kicks it high out around midfield. Ellender took it on the 47, running right, trying to get to the sideline. He's to the 40-yard line, 35-30. Down to the 25 goes Ellender. He is inside the 25 to the 22. with a dandy return.
That's a thing of beauty when they set that wall up. Houston set that wall up to the right side, and Helena got behind and gained a lot of yardage.
Houston is in good striking position. They marked the ball down. There's an injured player. We'll deal with that a little bit later. They marked the ball down on the 22-yard line of San Diego. A timeout on the field with a score. The Chargers 14, the Houston Oilers 10.
Good service from your Chicagoland Buick dealers helps you keep the value built into your Buick.
But, Walter, just between you and me, Joe McConnell, if you go to your Buick dealers and don't tell them you're Walter Payton, do you think the service would be as good?
Well, when I go for service, they do a fine job.
And you don't tell them you're Walter Payton?
No.
Great. That's real Buick service.
But they might recognize my bare uniform.
Whoever you are and wherever you go for Buick service throughout Chicagoland, you'll recognize the qualified service that only Buick dealers can provide. Nobody knows your Buick better, and their complete service facilities, the latest equipment, plus ongoing service training, all help to make your Buick dealers keep your Buick in top running condition. As long as you own your car in a trade-in time, service pays off. It's part of the value at your Buick dealers.
Get more car for your money. Take Chicagoland to buy. Step up to Buick value without stepping up in price.
Buick dealer service is okay by me.
Houston starts at the San Diego 22. First down, Renfro goes in motion. Here is the give to Wilson, the fullback, tracking inside the 20-yard line. Came down to the 18. He got 4 yards. Tackled by Bob Horn, the middle linebacker. 7 minutes left in the quarter. Tom Randall, one of the Houston special teams players, was shaking up a moment ago. Walked off the field under his own power, Tom Randall.
Now, Houston's going to stay in that too tight end situation, try to control the ball, keep that ball away from the Charger offense.
Wilson got 3, and it's second down and 7 from the 18. The Oilers are in close. Gifford, Nielsen, Renfro in motion again. They give to Wilson over the left side. Hit for a loss of a yard on the play and driven back. Well, he did get back to the line of scrimmage. Gary Johnson, 6'3", 252, and really strong, stopped him in his tracks.
What a game he's having. He's been in there rushing the passer, and he's been strong at the point of attack. It's difficult to move a man out that's determined like he is.
No gain on the play. It's still at the 18 of the Chargers. Rob Carpenter checks in. He's a good pass catcher. Houston, on third down attempts, is converted 4 out of 10 times. 6 minutes left in the quarter. San Diego on top, 14-10. Carpenter in the backfield with Nielsen. Nielsen is back to throw. As time throws into the end zone's got him in. Incomplete. Incomplete. Now it's intercepted for a touchback by Mike Williams. I thought perhaps he went out of bounds, but he came down in the end zone with the interception.
Mike Williams made a big adjustment there. That really wasn't his area to cover. He saw Castor break open, so he dropped back and picked the pass off. Quite a play by Mike Williams.
It'll come out to the 20-yard line on the touchback, and with the score still 14-10, San Diego, let's take time out.
One 15-cent stamp, please.
You want a roll of 10,000, a book of 20, or a strip of 4?
Just one.
Pre-glued or clip-on?
What?
This letter going by air, boat, or choo-choo?
Financing my car was simpler than this.
We'll deliver it Saturday.
My GM dealer arranged convenient GMAC financing right in his showroom.
Or Wednesday.
He even arranged terms to fit my budget.
Or Friday.
So if GMAC can uncomplicate things, well, why can't you?
Okay, it'll be delivered a week from Tuesday.
Okay.
Unless, of course, it's going out of town.
What?
Then it's out of my hands.
GMAC financing. We uncomplicate things. With a spirit appropriate to the season, your Buick dealer is hosting his Buick Holiday Get-Together.
It's the Buick Holiday Get-Together.
Which means it's a good time to talk over a deal on a sporty, good-looking new Regal, Buick's most popular car.
It's the Buick Holiday Get-Together.
Your Buick dealer has the holiday spirit. See him today.
It's the Buick Holiday Get-Together.
The tight end, Bob Klein, sets up on the right side. Floyd goes in motion. They're in the I formation. The give to the tailback. Lydell Mitchell spins into the middle. Gets only a couple of yards, and a flag is thrown. Looked like procedure against San Diego.
It sure did. Another needless penalty.
Stops the clock with 4:50 remaining in the third quarter. 5 yards being marked off against the Chargers. The ball put down on their 30, and the referee, Ben Dreith, will tell us about it. Right guard Ed White was moving before the snap.
He should know better. He's been around long enough. He knows that snap count.
This is 12th year. 1st and 15 from the 30. Now on first down, Fouts. Hands off to Lydell Mitchell, running right, cuts back, gets 1 yard, maybe 2, and that's all. Elvin Bethay was the tackler.
Well, they run a sweep to the right side, hoping to catch Houston in an inside defense. That time, Houston had both corners coming up in run support. Too many people to block.
Carter Hartwig checks in as a defensive back. Jesse Baker, the rookie lineman, comes in to help with the pass rush. Mitchell has carried 7 times, 22 yards. They just don't roll up much ground yardage.
No, they sure don't. But let's take a look here and see if we get Mitchell in the pattern.
2nd down and 13 for the Chargers from their own 32. Fouts takes the snap. He's back to throw. Over the middle. Caught by Klein. Tackled at the 39. And it's going to be 3rd down and 6 for the Chargers. Let's pause 5 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the CBS Radio Network.
Matters of opinion and critics at large. Informed commentary on News Radio 78 WBBM Chicago.
Art Stringer tackled Bob Klein. They marked the ball down at the 38, and it's 3rd and 7. 3rd and 7 for San Diego. 3.5 left in the 3rd quarter. And Fouts will be throwing. 3 wide receivers are in there. Back to throw is Fouts. Everybody in the pass pattern. Flags go down. The pass is caught out around the 46-yard line, but flags are down. Charlie Joyner made a dandy catch, but then went out of bounds, and the flags are down, and it might be holding against San Diego.
That's the 2nd time, too. Fouts has got knocked down. He's been hit pretty hard. That's what will stop a good passer as quick as anything, getting pressure on him.
Holding against San Diego. They really haven't gotten to Fouts all day, have they?
No, just the last couple of times in this quarter. So the pressure's starting to get the Fouts just a little bit. It makes it difficult to find your receiver. You start trying to throw it a little too soon.
So in this series, they had a motion call and a holding call. That would have, that pass reception by Joyner would have made it 4th down. And about 4 to go, but they accept the penalty. The call is against Billy Shields, the offensive tackle on the left side. He's 6'8", 275. I don't know why he has to hold somebody.
I know, every now and then the big guy gets his hand stuck in the defensive end's shirt.
So now it is 3rd down and 17 from their own 28 for the Chargers. As Fouts is back to throw, stumbles, regains his balance, and throws long, and it is intercepted. Intercepted by J.C. Wilson. He is back to the 40-yard line and back to midfield, and now down to the 45 with the ball. So another interception, this one by J.C. Wilson. And that, for Fouts, is the 3rd of the day that he's thrown.
And he had time to throw that football. They had a double zone on the left side, but Fouts threw the ball right to Wilson. There was nobody else there but Wilson to catch the football. He didn't quite get it out far enough. Ball's floating on Dan Fouts today.
And Wilson seemed to catch that ball with one hand.
I wonder if there's something wrong with the other arm.
And the ball is to the San Diego 46.
Well, the Chargers are trying to keep Houston in the ball game. They keep giving them the ball in their own end zone, in their own area.
San Diego's on top, 14-10, but Houston has another opportunity to move. They're at the 46-yard line of the Chargers. The 3rd interception thrown by Fouts. We mentioned his figures earlier. He had 24 touchdown passes, 24 interceptions, but as Roman Gabriel pointed out, when you throw as often as he does, a lot of things are going to happen.
A lot of things are, and generally they are bad whenever you throw interception. Today, though, he's not having a very good ball game to this point because of 3 interceptions. That's too many balls they've thrown up for grabs.
3:02 left in the 3rd quarter. And Gifford Nielsen will try to strike.
Now, this would be a good opportunity for Houston to come off of a play action and put the ball up. They haven't been doing that. They haven't made any mistakes either. That's why they're in the ball game. San Diego's made all the mistakes.
Except for the last time that Houston had the ball, they were intercepted in the end zone, and that cost them an opportunity for some points. They were down at the San Diego 22, possibly within field goal range.
Probably could have pulled within 1 point if they hadn't.
192. The Chargers, thank you.
The attendance today is 52,574.
Now, the 2 people who have been getting most of the action, Barber, the tight end, and Carpenter, the halfback. Maybe we'll see something to one of those 2.
Carpenter and Wilson in the backfield. Here's a delay to Carpenter, going to the left, dances back and is spun down for a loss of a couple of yards by Gary Johnson and Fred Dean.
Number 26.
Well, they came back to that draw play that they were successful with in the first half, but they cut it off. Dean, the right defensive end for the Chargers, was not going to be drawn inside.
Loss of a yard, 2nd and 11. Ball at the San Diego 47. 2.5 minutes left in the quarter. San Diego on top 14-10. Earlier today, Tampa Bay defeated the Philadelphia Eagles 24-17. Castor goes in motion, and Nielsen is back to throw. And dumps it off short, incomplete. He tried to get it to his running back, Wilson, and somebody had a hand on him just as he threw the ball.
I think it was Wilbur Young that had the hand on the arm as he let the ball go. He was looking downfield to his tight end. Tight end was covered very well, so he tried to drop it off to the secondary receiver.
When you see a kid like this, Roman, trying to get the job done, it really points out how good the other quarterbacks are in the league.
That's right, Jack. The difference between a good and a great quarterback is experience. There's no way to get around it. And, of course, a good offensive line, too.
3rd down and 11. Nielsen back to throw. Throws over the middle, and it's caught at the 40-yard line, 35-30 by Renfro. Runs outside of the 25, gets down to the 20, the 15, to the 10, to the 5, and touchdown, Houston, on a pass to Mike Renfro.
Big play there. Renfro on a slant. Fuller had him dead to rights, but he came up and missed the tackle. Open area down the sideline, and that's exactly what Renfro did, all the way down to the end zone for a score.
What a run he made after catching the ball. He broke one tackle out around the 35-yard line.
Now, you know, that's what happens, too, whenever you set up in a zone defense. They spread people out. Once that receiver catches the ball in the middle of the field, there's nobody there, nothing but open area.
He really did scoot, and he got a good downfield block. He was pointing it out and waiting for it, got it and went in, just barely got in before going out of bounds. Mike Barber helped him on the run.
I tell you, Mike Barber's everywhere. Fine tight end. Catches the ball, blocks. Second effort.
2:05 left in the 3rd quarter. Tony Fritz trying the extra point. Nielsen holds. The kick is good. The score is 17-14. Houston by 3 with 2:05 remaining in the 3rd quarter. And the San Diego fans find this to be a revolting development out here.
And you notice how they've quietened up again. They're not very vocal.
Pastorini has not played and will not play. Campbell might be able to play, but hasn't played. And Kenny Burrow's been in there for only a couple of plays and hasn't caught a ball.
Boy, can you imagine how strong they might have been if they had those guys in the ball game?
Well, don't forget that Super Bowl Sunday is January 20th. Mark that date on your calendar. Join us for Super Bowl 14 from Pasadena, California, on most of these CBS stations. Well, if we think Fouts has been throwing the ball up till now, watch what happens now.
It might start raining footballs. You know, a nice thing just happened there, Jack. When Nielsen went off the field, Pastorini was the first one over to congratulate him. That makes the second guy feel real good.
I'm sure it does. Hank Fowler and Artie Owens are inside the 5, awaiting the kick. Houston kicking off from our right to our left. Fritz gets into it. It's high, rather short, and taken by Owens smack on the 5. Up the middle to the 10 to the 15, running left to the 20. Cuts back, hit hard at the 23 or 4-yard line. Somebody really unloaded. That was Bill Courier, a defensive back, who made the stop on Artie Owens after a 19-yard return.
We're seeing real good special teams coverage today because we have people that can run with the football, but not giving them much daylight.
1:55 left in the 3rd quarter. San Diego trailing 17-14. One of these teams will bite the dust, and the other will play on January 6th for the title against either Pittsburgh or Miami. Fouts, thrown 28 times, completed 16. He's back to throw. Throws it off to Lydell Mitchell. Catches it at the 20, gets to the 25, gets to the 30, picked up 6 yards after breaking a tackle. Alvin Bethea tackled it.
They set up the quick screen out to the right side. The guy that made the play and slowed it up was J.C. Wilson, who had that interception earlier. He came up from his corner position, slowed the runner down.
2nd down and 3. Field goal would tie this one. It's 17-14 Houston with 1:20 left in the 3rd quarter. Clarence Williams is the lone setback. Bob Klein, the tight end on the right side. 3 wide receivers, Jefferson, Joyner, and Floyd. Back to throw Fouts on 2nd and 3. Chased out of the pocket, drops it off. Klein has it. Klein gets to the 35 for a first down and is tackled at the 38 by J.C. Wilson.
Good awareness by Fouts. Showing his experience there. Klein slow blocked or stayed in to help in case a linebacker came and Fouts checked off and found him.
But they're not getting to Fouts at all, are they?
Only the last series when they got to him twice before he released the ball. But now they're not putting much pressure on him. They've got to put pressure on him.
The offensive line of Rush, Wilkerson, White, Washington, and Shields doing a good job for the Chargers. They have a first down at their own 38 with 30 seconds left in the quarter. Motion by Charlie Joyner. Out of the I formation, Fouts rolls right to throw, and he's sacked. I no sooner gotten the words out of my mouth when Elvin Bethune nailed him at the 30-yard line for the first sack of the day for Houston.
The first one, that time, Fouts on a play-action fake. Nobody picked up Bethune from the right end position. He came clear.
20 seconds remaining in the quarter when they may not have another play. Bethune came in apparently untouched.
Nobody took him. They tried to set up some kind of play action. Maybe they better stay away from play action. That's the only time they seem to get in trouble.
Looks like we'll not have another play. 4, 3, 2. It's going to be second down and 17, and the period comes to an end. The end of the third quarter with the score. Houston 17, San Diego 14.
Hi, I'm Dan Fouts of the San Diego Chargers. Hear those happy sounds? Those are infants learning how to swim at a YMCA here in San Diego. I watched them the other day and saw a group of teenage volunteers helping out, taking time from their busy day to work with the moms and tots. It's nice seeing how these young United Way volunteers get involved. The United Way supports the YMCA here in San Diego and all over America because they serve everyone in the community. The YMCAs do a lot more than teach people how to swim. They have counseling programs for families in crisis. They help youngsters who are in trouble with drugs or alcohol. They have child abuse clinics and even special programs to reunite runaway youngsters with their families. The YMCAs here depend on the help they get from volunteers, people of all ages, from all walks of life, who want to share their love with others. The United Way works here because of them. Thanks to them and thanks to you, it works for all of us. The United Way.
The preceding has been brought to you by the NFL. Roman Gabriel, this is in the form of a second guess, but when you pass, and bad things happen to you, 3 intercepted, and you don't get that running game going, you're stacking the odds against yourself a little bit, aren't you?
Well, that's what all the skeptics say, that whenever you put the ball up, interceptions can happen, and we've had that. Now, you take a team like Houston, they've been able to set up a balanced attack. If running's not going, they've thrown. If they're not able to throw, they run. But San Diego has not been able to do anything but throw, and that's what they've been doing all year long.
And then when Houston did throw, Renfro caught one for 47 yards, the biggest play of this game to this point.
Big play of the ball game. San Diego now faced with a long yardage situation. You know, they got to put the ball up.
Mike Thomas is into the game. That's the first time he's played today. He's in there with Clarence Williams. It's going to be second down and 17. In the game thus far, San Diego's had the ball 23 minutes plus. Houston 21 minutes plus. So the Oilers, without some of their stars, playing them better than even.
Oilers looking very good. Their defense came to play just like in the second half of that game last week against Denver.
Second down and 17. Joyner comes left with J.J. John Jefferson. Floyd's the other wide receiver. Back to throw his Fouts on second down. He throws and incomplete. He was wrapped up as he threw the ball, and he tried to get it out to Mike Thomas coming out of the backfield and threw high.
Boy, if they hadn't have had pressure that time, Mike Thomas had plenty of running room. He came across from the right side over to the left side of the field. Fouts couldn't get it to him.
Jesse Baker had a hand on Fouts as he was throwing the ball. Baker can get into that backfield on third downs, and now it's 3rd and 17 for the Chargers. Chargers have converted 4 times in 8 tries. Houston has their 50 defensive back in there. Now they have 6 defensive backs.
Well, Charlie Joyner's been their big play man across the middle. Maybe we'll get a shot at Charlie Joyner.
3rd down and 17. Back to throw Fouts. Ample time over the middle. Jefferson out near midfield. First down. He caught the ball. Tackled at the 49. Got a first down by 1 yard.
Very big play for the Chargers. John Jefferson lined up to the left and Joyner in the slot. Joyner cleared out the underneath coverage while Jefferson ran a square in. Fouts right on the money. Big pass.
It was 3rd and 17, and he hit him.
Right when they needed it, too. That keeps them. They can continue to control the football.
Bill Courier made the tackle at the 49 of San Diego. They're trailing by 3, the Chargers are. Klein sets up on the left side. And Fouts on first down, tosses it to Williams, running right, cuts back, and got very little on a run over the right side. Clarence Williams carrying it. Alvin Bethea tackled him. 14 minutes left in the game.
anytime they run the ball, it's almost like a wasted play for them, except when they get near the goal line, and then that's when they run the ball in.
3-yard gain that time by Clarence Williams. What a big third down pass play Fouts completed a moment ago to John Jefferson. 2nd down and 7. Fouts brings him out. Jefferson's to the right. Motion by Mike Thomas. Fouts back to throw. He throws a screen right, and the tackle is made beyond the 50-yard line, and a loss on the play. Vernon Perry, the strong safety, was in the backfield.
Well, Dob Klein, the tight end, set up on a tight end screen to the right side, and that's Perry's man. He was there to break it up. Mike Thomas coming out of the backfield right to left was on one-on-one coverage. We might see something similar to that later in the game.
It's 3rd and 11 back at the 49. The San Diego 49-yard line. Less than 13 minutes remaining in this game. Houston leading 17-14. 3rd and 11 suddenly for San Diego. Fouts drops to throw. Looks and throws, and incomplete. Off the fingertips of the intended receiver, John Jefferson, who did all he could.
He had them both Joyner and Jefferson, running a square-in pattern from right to left. At about 12 yards, they would have had the first down.
San Diego will have to punt the ball. Jeff West for only the 2nd time today. 35 yards earlier on his punt. And Richard Ellender, his return punts, 7-yard average for the season, is back at the 10. Houston didn't go after West the last time. We wait for the snap. It's high, handled by West. He kicks it high, rather short. Fair catch called for, and Ellender takes it at his 22. And a flag goes down.
Well, we got a little more action.
And a little altercation around the 30-yard line. That was only a 29-yard kick. And we'll check and see what the flag is all about. We talk it over with the referee, Ben Dry. It might have been an ineligible man downfield before the snap. And that penalty is going to be declined.
Houston wants that football. I would guess that now Houston will just try to...
You heard that. Illegal man downfield, penalty declined. First down, Houston. They're on 22.
I would imagine now we'll see Houston try to grind it out. Control that football. Put the ball up only if necessary.
Houston leads by 3, 17-14, with 12:33 remaining in the game.
A mistake-free game other than one interception. Houston following their game plan and playing very well.
The timeout down on the field. Nielsen having a pretty good day, Roman.
He's doing real well here, Jack. 9 of 16 for 98 yards. 1 touchdown and 1 interception. The 98 yards is not a whole lot of yards, but he's been able to control the tempo of the game for that Houston Oiler offense.
With 2:05 remaining in the third quarter, Nielsen hit Mike Renfro with a 47-yard scoring pass. They put Houston on top 17-14. The fans here want their defense to change things around. Wilson and Carpenter in the backfield. They give the second man Carpenter following Wilson. He comes out across the 25, rams into people, comes across the 30, and has a first down at about the 33. What a run by Carpenter.
All we have there is man-to-man block, and Wilson leading the way, walking on the linebacker, opening up that hole for Carpenter. Carpenter getting yardage.
He ran for 11, and he's run for 44. Booby Clark is in the backfield with Wilson now. Out to the Houston 32. A first down, 12 minutes left. Barber, the tight end on the right side. Second man through is Booby Clark. He spins out to the 35. He got about 3. Gary Johnson stopped him.
Same play. That's smart thinking by the Houston coaches. One play goes, why not run it again? They came right back with the same play, a slant off the right side.
11 and a half left in the game. Houston on top, 17-14, without Pastoriti and Campbell, and Burrow has played only sparingly. He's not in there now. The wide receiver, Burrow is in there. He's to the left, along with Castor. Barber, the tight end, is on the right side. Clark and Wilson in the backfield. The give to Booby Clark. Saw a hole. Breaks out to the 45-yard line for a first down. Fred Dean tackled him in a 12-yard jaunt by Booby Clark. When he saw that hole, he ripped it.
Well, that time they suckered the left defensive tackle for the Chargers. They pulled the right guard. The tackle took that, and right up the pipe went Booby Clark.
He carried out across the 45 out to the Houston 47. 10:45 left in the game. Boy, a lot of character on this Houston team.
They're doing exactly what they want, and the Chargers know they have to do it.
Burrow goes to the left. They're two tight ends. I formation. Wilson the up back. Clark the tailback. They give to Wilson. He bumps to midfield. Well, not quite. Got to the 49, and he really looks sluggish with that football.
He does. He doesn't look like he gets off the mark quite fast enough. He might be having a problem with an ankle or something. We've had so many of them that way in this ball game. Well, nothing fancy by the Oilers.
No, sir.
Lining up and handing it off.
Wilson that time carried to the 48 for a gain of 2, and it's second down and 8, and we have 10 minutes left in the game. On second down. Barber, the tight end on the left side. Nielsen's going to throw it. He's rushed. He throws, and it's batted down incomplete. And he might be called for intentionally grounding. There wasn't anybody out there to catch the ball. He got away with something, didn't he?
He did. I didn't see a back. One of the backs went the wrong way.
He got away with something that time because there was not an eligible man out there to catch the ball. And Nielsen had the ball batted down by the defense. Gary Johnson and Charlie DeJournay were in on him, and it's third down and 8. 9:47 left in the game. It's a big play. Ken Burrow goes to the left. Mike Renfro's to the right. Barber, the tight end, on the right side. Carpenter in the backfield. Third and 8. Nielsen delays the ball to Carpenter on a slant. Gets to the 45. Spins down near first down territory to the 41. He's got a first down.
Big play. Just a slant off the left side. Dean, the right defensive end, taking an outside rush, and they forced Jones inside.
Leon Gray must have made a good block. I didn't see it, but he must have.
Gray was responsible for Dean. He just took him and rode him to the outside. Big hole in there by Carpenter.
Down to the San Diego 42. They're not only moving the ball, but chewing off that time. 9:15 left. Houston's on top 17-14. If they get a touchdown here, murder for San Diego.
San Diego in trouble.
On first down. Out of the I formation. The give is to Booby Clark. Tried to go outside. Cuts inside and got 2 yards before being driven back by Bob Horn.
Well, they continue to run towards their all-pro, Leon Gray, who's been doing it for a number of years. That's not a bad place to go when you need yardage.
They got the ball with 12.5 minutes left in the game. Houston did. And now we have 8.5, so they've chewed up 4 minutes. They have second down and 9 from the 41 of the Chargers.
One thing that's hard to teach a young quarterback is the various count. Nielsen's keeping him off balance, going on a short count and then a long count.
He starts his man in motion. That's Renfro. Nielsen gives the ball to Carpenter, looking for a place to go, trying to get outside. Can't. Fuller comes up and finishes off the play after a gain of only a yard.
Hard to bring that man down, though. That time Preston was piggyback riding, and Carpenter still wouldn't go down.
That Fuller's a tough little cookie.
He is. He forces well, probably as well as any strong safety in football.
Now under 8 minutes left in the game. Houston on top, 17-14. Earlier today, Tampa Bay won over the Philadelphia Eagles, 24-17.
Well, Jack, we might see a screen set up here to Carpenter or possibly a pass to Barber, the tight end.
Third and 9 from the San Diego 41. With Carpenter in the backfield. Nielsen gives the ball to Carpenter, runs it, gets a yard, that's all. And it'll be kicking time for the Oilers. But they did a good job of running off some time.
They control that football. They sure have a lot of confidence in their running game. Thought they could make third and 8 yards. They come up short.
We're coming up on the 7-minute mark remaining in this game. Ample time for the Chargers, who are about to get the ball. They trail. It's Houston 17, Chargers 14. In to do the punting, Cliff Parsley. He has kicked 4 times, averaged 43 yards. He's put on a show today.
I imagine he'll be going for the coffin corner, try to back the Chargers up, make them go a long way for a score.
Mike Fuller is inside the 10 waiting for it. Parsley waits for the snap. And now there's movement in the interior line, and that'll cost Houston 5 and stop the clock with 6:43 left in the game. That doesn't really matter because he's in very close now anyhow.
No, that won't bother him at all. He still has the same angle. He probably has a better angle.
Ed Fisher, the guard, moved before the ball was snapped.
He can now put a little more foot into it.
Ball start by Ed Fisher. Parsley will now kick it from his own 45. The clock will start when he touches it off, or with the snap of the ball, actually. 6:43 left in the game. Houston leading 17-14. There's a good snap from center, and the kick by Parsley is high and toward the sideline. Fuller calls for a fair catch and takes it on the 10. Parsley did another good job. And San Diego trailing by 3 all the way back at their 10. That was a 36-yard kick. 6:34 left in the game. With the score, Houston 17, San Diego 14. Let's take time out.
But, Jerry, I need these things. It's just you and me driving to a football game.
All I brought were some binoculars, an ice chest, portable TV, solar seat warmer.
Everything is so complicated these days. Financing my new GM car was simpler than this.
I'm sitting on my popcorn popper.
My GM dealer arranged for convenient GMAC financing right in his showroom.
You like my megaphone?
Jerry, simplify. Simplify, like GMAC.
You need these things to enjoy a game.
All you need are the tickets.
The what?
GMAC financing. We uncomplicate things.
If you've been waiting for the right time to buy a new 1979 Buick, your time has definitely arrived. For a limited time only, Buick is making it possible for your Buick dealer to offer outstanding savings on America's most admired automobiles. Almost all of his 79 Electras, LeSabres, Centuries, and Regals. Stop in and look over the selection and the savings at your Buick dealers now. Hurry. Don't let the time or the Buicks run out.
Houston just kept the ball for 6 minutes, Roman Gabriel.
Well, they were doing exactly what they wanted. Control the football. They tried one pass. It was incomplete, a little screen, which is not dangerous. And then on 3rd and 8, they tried to run the ball again, but they got them down, backed up on their own goal line.
Fouts is 20 out of 34, 235 yards, intercepted 3 times. Both touchdowns came on the ground for the Chargers. Fouts is back to throw. Drops inside his 5 and throws it out to Bob Klein for a first down out near the 25.
Well, there's Klein finding the hole in the zone. That's what it takes. Those experienced tight ends know exactly where to hook up.
I laugh when I watch the San Diego team play. Man, everything's throw. Coming up on the 6-minute mark in this game, Ted Thompson, J.C. Wilson made the hit on Klein. And now we have exactly 6 minutes left. First down at their own 25 for the Chargers. They trail by 3. Motion by Mike Thomas. Back to throw, Fouts again. Looks over the middle long and caught at midfield and wrestled down at the Houston 45 by Vernon Terry was Charlie Joyner.
Great touch by Fouts. Houston in a zone defense. Joyner in the slot. Just as he passes the linebackers at about 15 yards, Fouts throws to an area. Joyner runs under it. What a throw.
For 30 yards to the Houston 25, and Charlie Joyner comes to the sideline. He's caught 4 for 82 yards. They have it at the Houston 45. 5:24 left in the game, clock running. Fouts started at his 10. He's now at the Houston 45. And on first down drops, he's rushed, he's blitzed, he's sacked back at the 46-yard line. The second time today, and Andy Doris, the end, got through there. He did a little loop and got in home free.
Andy Doris has been very significant in the ball game. Last week against Morton, he had 3 sacks. Today, he's got 2 against Fouts. And that was all opened up by the blitz, which makes the offensive linemen go one-on-one whenever that blitz comes. They cannot help out with each other.
They marked the ball down on the San Diego 48. So a big loss on the play, and it is second down and 17. 4:50 left. Clock running. Motion by Klein. Back to throw, Fouts. Has a lot of time. Throws and caught at the 35. The tackle made immediately. And it's very close to a first down as Wilson made the hit, or Stemrick made the hit on Floyd, the rookie out of Northeast Louisiana. Where do they mark the ball?
Well, they had Mike Thomas flanked to the left side. Jefferson came down and ran a corner as Mike Thomas just hooked in front of the corner. Good touch by Fouts.
Third down and a foot for San Diego. We're coming up on the 4-minute mark left in this game. Fouts has passed for 296 yards.
That's a normal day for him now.
Floyd to the 35 of Houston with a catch. 4 minutes left. 3rd and 1 for San Diego. Less than a yard, actually. They're going from our right to our left. They have Hank Fowler and Williams in the backfield. They give it to Williams. He cracks into the line, and he is crushed down. And let's see what kind of yardage he got, if any. He tried to follow Bauer, and Bauer was buried.
Bauer got ate up on that right side.
If they get a first down, it'll be their 22nd of the day for the Chargers. They're going to measure. And I think he's got it. But they stopped the clock, 3:47. Houston has had only 13 first downs, and San Diego just got it by an inch. Their 22nd first down of the day. They have the ball at the Houston 35. 3:43 left. The score is Houston 17, San Diego 14.
You know, against most teams in this situation, you would probably say they might throw, but you know San Diego is going to throw, so there's no reason to guess.
Mike Thomas goes in motion. Under center, Fouts takes the snap, and he's back to throw. The pass is intercepted by Houston at the 32. The 4th time the interception. This one by Vernon Perry, his 3rd of the day.
What a day by Perry.
What happened on that ball, Roman?
Well, Klein was trying to come across the middle, and as Fouts released the ball, Klein lost his feet. Ball was tipped up, and here came Perry.
He gets his 3rd of the day, the 4th against Fouts with 3:18 left. Houston has a 3-point lead and the ball at their own 32-yard line. A timeout on the field with the score. Houston 17, San Diego 14.
Your tools as carefully as you use them. Choose quality Master Mechanic tools from True Value hardware stores. Hi, Pat Summerall to tell you the Master Mechanic 16-foot power return tape for just $6.97 features a toggle lock to hold the blade securely so you can accurately transfer measurements. The epoxy-coated blade is easy to read, and the lightweight Cycolac case is chrome for durability. True Value hardware stores also offer the Master Mechanic 7-piece propane torch kit for just $12.27. It features a variety of interchangeable tips to help you thaw pipes, solder, remove paint, and more. All Master Mechanic hand tools and accessories are backed by a customer satisfaction policy assuring good performance or a free replacement. And you can get them only at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers. And save gas. You won't have to drive far for your hardware and houseware needs. If you're looking for value, service, and selection, you'll find them nearby at any one of the more than 5,000 True Value hardware stores and home centers nationwide.
Houston leading 17-14, 3:18 left. First down, Houston at their own 32. Roman Gabriel, pick up on that last play again, will you?
Well, as Fouts dropped back, he saw that Klein was coming open real short across the middle, and as Klein started to come open, he tripped on one of the Houston people's legs, and Fouts drilled the ball a little hard, and it came off of Bob's hand, so it was a difficult catch to make, and there went the ball as Perry intercepted.
It was tipped, though, before Perry caught it.
It was tipped by Klein.
Okay, Houston will try to peel off some of those seconds remaining. They have it at their own 32. They have Carpenter and Wilson in the backfield. The give is to Carpenter, running right, hurdles a man, gets about a yard and no more. And we'll come up on the 3-minute mark. Each team has 3 timeouts remaining. If Houston wins, on January 6th, they'll be playing either at Pittsburgh or at Miami. Carpenter has rushed for 54 yards, Wilson 38, Clark 30, and Earl Campbell has not played, nor has Dan Pastorini. Kenny Burrow has played, but hasn't caught a ball all day, and still, Houston leads. 2nd down and 9 from the 33. 2:40 left in the game. Burrow goes in motion. Nielsen gives to Carpenter on a slant right, gets outside a little bit, and he's to the 36. Someone had him by 1 foot and wouldn't turn him loose. Mike Fuller. They just know that Nielsen's not going to throw, and they've got everybody up there on the line of scrimmage.
That's right. Mike Fuller, the strong safety, coming up very fast to make the stop on Carpenter. If he doesn't make the stop, Carpenter's going to gain a lot more yardage.
The ball is now on the Houston 36, and we're coming up on the 2-minute mark before another snap of the ball. On 3rd down, Houston has converted 5 times in 13 tries. They have 3rd down and 6 from their own 36, and there are 2 minutes left in the game. And with the score, Houston 17 and San Diego 14. Let's take time out.
I don't care what you say. I'm not running any motor oil 15,000 miles without changing.
Suit yourself, but STP motor oil is so good you could.
15,000 is a lot of miles to run. Through tough winter cold and hot summer sun. But STP motor oil is so good. So good, you could.
15,000 miles or 1 year between oil changes, whichever comes first, under normal driving conditions with engines in good condition.
52,000 shaking their heads here in San Diego. 2 minutes left, 17-14 Houston. 3rd and 6 Houston at their own 36-yard line. Each team 3 timeouts remaining. And this one's going down to the wire. I bet Mike Wood, the place kicker of the Padres, has a little pulse beat going for him now of the Chargers. It's 3rd down. Nielsen is back to throw. Fake short throws over the middle. Caught for a first down out around midfield, and Houston will keep the ball. Ronnie Coleman caught the ball at his own 49, and what a throw by Nielsen.
Big play. Charlie Fuller there to make the tackle, but Coleman running a square in from the left side.
San Diego calls timeout. A pause in the action with the score. Houston 17, San Diego 14. Let's take timeout.
A cold? That's all I need.
For aches and fever, all you need is Bayer aspirin. The flu? That's all I need. For aches and fever, all you need is Bayer aspirin. Of all medicines available for aches and fever of cold or flu, doctors recommend aspirin most. And Bayer is 100% pure aspirin. If this winter...
All I need is a cold or flu.
Rest, fluids, and for aches and fever, all you need is Bayer aspirin. Use only as directed.
Walter Cronkite, one of a kind, writing, editing, working with the superb CBS News team to gather and report the news.
Let's tell them fail.
The daily, constant pressure of being the best. And there's only one place you can find this anchor man, this editor, this team.
Good evening. After strong front,
Cronkite and Company, only on the CBS Evening News.
Monday through Friday on the CBS Television Network.
Well, Roman Gabriel, that pass play might have done the San Diego Chargers in.
Yeah, I think he caught him unaware. The coaching staff for Houston sending the play from the sideline. Last time they were in that situation, they ran it. I don't think the Chargers thought they would throw.
And it was a gambling sort of area.
Gambling call.
From the 49 of Houston. Here is Nielsen giving to Carpenter, running left, gets across midfield, spins down near the 47 of San Diego, and the Chargers call another timeout with 1:44 remaining. There's a timeout on the field with the score, Houston 17 and San Diego 14.
Maybe we're all too emotional when we think about special education for handicapped children. We always think of human values, not dollar values. Maybe it's time we took a cold, hard look at these kids and what it costs to develop their potential. Okay, the truth. Special education and vocational training cost a lot of money. Special teachers, special equipment, special classes. It all adds up. But here's the catch. It costs even more not to educate handicapped people. Much more. Keeping people dependent for life or keeping them in institutions. Those are luxuries we can't afford. So don't be emotional. Look at it coldly, in dollars and cents. With special education, most handicapped children grow up to become taxpayers. It's a good investment. A public service message on behalf of the United States Office of Education.
2nd down and 7 from the San Diego 48, and Carpenter drives to the 46. Clock is running, and the final timeout is taken by San Diego. But now they'll run the 3rd down play, Roman Gabriel, and when San Diego gets the ball, if they get it back, they can't have as much as a minute.
No, it'll be difficult for them to come down the field and put something on the board. The one thing in San Diego's favor, though, is they only need a field goal. So if they did get a run back of any type on the punt, if Houston has to punt, they could get a field goal and tie it up.
Yeah, you're right. It's so darn tough to get that touchdown as opposed to the field goal.
Well, you have to give Houston a lot of credit. They've stayed to their game plan. They've been very patient. They've made very few mistakes, not trying to go long. And Nielsen has run a good show out there.
And if they win, they'll have another week to get Pastorini and Earl Campbell back and ready for either Pittsburgh or Miami.
That's right. I'm sure they're looking forward to getting those people back, but how can you knock the performance of Nielsen and Carpenter?
Nielsen's done a heck of a job for a kid stepping in to do the work.
10 of 18, 111 yards, 1 touchdown of 47 yards, and only 1 interception.
And Dan Fouts has been intercepted 4 times here today. In addition, San Diego had a field goal blocked, and it resulted in a field goal at the other end of the field. Okay, the clock will start with the snap of the ball. This is 3rd and 6 for Houston from the 46 of San Diego. They'll run a safe play and let the clock tick away. Here he tosses to Carpenter, running right, cuts it back. At the 45, he's down to the 43, and it's going to be 4th down and kicking time for Houston. But now, when the ball is snapped, there'll be less than a minute remaining in the game, and they'll probably take another 5-yard penalty to milk all the time they wish. Houston player is slow in getting up.
We don't want a Houston player down.
Now they have to stop the clock because of that injured player. 1:18 left. That's Barber, the tight end. He's double tough, too. If he could get up, he would.
He sure would. He's playing an outstanding game in there.
Barber is down. That really helps San Diego, although the clock will start again. And it'll coincide with the 30-second clock. They can take 30 seconds, take a penalty, and it'll be 48. San Diego will have about 48 seconds when they get the ball. And no timeouts.
And no timeouts, and they'll probably get the ball anywhere from 10-yard line on in. And that's a long way to go. A long way to go.
The score is 17-14 in favor of Houston over San Diego, and what is really an upset. I bet when people found out that the quarterback Pastoriti wasn't going to play and Campbell might not play, everybody jumped on the San Diego bandwagon.
The way they started out, too, in this ball game, looked as though they might just blow Houston out, but Houston stuck gamely to their plan. I think if you had to take one team in the National Football League as to who could score in 48 seconds, you might have to take the Chargers because they know how to pass.
Mike Barber is really rocky as he gets up. Timeout charge to Houston. I don't know why they would take timeout because I guess they had to take a charge timeout.
Because Barber wasn't able to get up under his own power.
So now, San Diego will have more time than I indicated before as the punt comes from Cliff Parsley. I wonder, will they be coming after this kick?
I think so, because it would be difficult to set up any kind of wall in the situation they're in now. They should go for it.
Parsley kicking for the 6th time. He's averaged 42 yards. He handles the ball and he kicks it high toward the sideline. Fuller going over there inside the 10, takes it on the 6. A flag goes down, and Fuller is tackled in the area of the 10-yard line with 1:08 left. A 42-yard punt. Cliff Parsley has kicked 6 times and averaged 42 yards. And a discussion on the field as a result of the flag. They talk it over with Ben Dreith, the referee, with Bingham, the linebacker, and San Diego expects to be penalized. A face mask call against San Diego's Jerome Dove. Even though San Diego had the ball, Jerome Dove was called for a face mask violation. The ball is put back at the 5. 5 penalties totaling 30 yards against San Diego, plus a blocked field goal attempt, plus 4 interceptions.
Well, you know, with no timeouts, you would think that Fouts would go to the sidelines, but they're going to try to keep him in bounds. Your big yardage is going to be made up the middle.
1:08 left. The clock will start with the snap of the ball. From their own 5, the ball is snapped. Fouts into the end zone to throw. Throws out across the 20, incomplete. Off the hand of J.J. John Jefferson, 1:02 left.
He had Jefferson
covering.
Carter Hartwig there, but Jefferson could have made the catch. Ball was a little high. Jefferson might have been able to hang on.
Roman Gabriel has been with us here on CBS Radio. We have a doubleheader for you tomorrow. Tim Ryan and Jim Kelly will be on hand for the early game, 12:25 Eastern Time with Miami at Pittsburgh. Hank Stram and I will be on at 3:55 Eastern Time. The Rams at Dallas. Earlier, Tampa Bay defeated Philadelphia 24-17. Here, Houston leads 17-14, 1:02 left in the game. 2nd and 10 from the 5. Fouts throws to the sideline, and it is caught by Floyd out across the 25. The clock continues to run. San Diego has no timeouts, 50 seconds left. The line of scrimmage will be the San Diego 28. 40 seconds left. Fouts back to throw, throws it out of bounds, stops the clock, 36 seconds left.
That was a nice catch by Ford on the right sideline as he split the zone. Fouts put it right in there, got him a 1st down. They got a little working room, but not much time.
Their chances are very slim.
Almost none. Almost none. But yet, in this game, as long as there's time on the clock, though, there's always a chance.
Would you believe it? Houston coming here in the physical shape they were, without Pastorini, Campbell, and to all intents without Ken Burrow. And they're leading. The ball's at the San Diego 28. Second down and 10. 36 seconds left in the game. Fouts back to throw. They can't get to him. He throws over the middle, up in the air, and incomplete out around the 45. He's thrown into heavy coverage for John Jefferson, incomplete.
Art Stringer almost picked that one off. He got the right hand in there.
Now there are 31 seconds left.
3rd and 10, big down. He almost is forced to throw over the middle because that's the only area that's open.
This crowd is stunned. Fouts 24 out of 44, 319 yards, but 4 intercepted and no touchdown throws. 3rd and 10 from his own 28. Back to throw again is Fouts. He drops, he looks, he throws over the middle. Caught by Jefferson at the 40, is spun down at the 41. The clock is running. 20 seconds remaining. 19, 18, 17, 16. San Diego lines up. They'll try to throw it out of bounds. Stop the clock. Fouts does. Incomplete. 10 seconds left. The pass went to Jefferson. Out to the 40-yard line. Looks like it's all over, Roman Gabriel.
Time for one more play.
10 seconds left. Well, the touchdown, the run by Mike Renfro was a big, big item here. Changed this contest around.
47 yards, and that came on a 3rd down.
3rd down is right with 2:05 left in the 3rd quarter. There are only 10 seconds left. San Diego is 60 yards away. They're at their own 40. The crowd on their feet. And Fouts takes the snap, drops to throw. He looks and fakes short and throws long to the sideline. And it is intercepted by Houston with 2 seconds left. Vernon Perry gets his 4th of the day, the 5th that Fouts has thrown. What a game for Vernon Perry.
4 interceptions in the playoff game.
He got more than he got all year.
Oh, I tell you, he was everywhere today. That was a big play by Vernon Perry.
And Houston has won this game. There are 2 seconds remaining. Intercepts Vernon Perry, his 4th of the
game.
And the 5th against Fouts. 2 seconds left. Houston will have to snap the ball one more time. No timeouts remaining for San Diego. And the officials will make them run this play because some crazy things can happen.
Well, what happened a year ago when the Giants tried to hand off, put the Eagles in the game with a touchdown.
The Eagles lost today. They dropped one to Tampa Bay, 24-17. Here, Houston has won it, 17-14. All they need is one snap of the ball, and barring a penalty, the game will end. That is an offensive penalty. With Gifford Nielsen at the controls, as he has been all day, the snap, he falls down, the clock runs out. That's the end of the game between Houston and San Diego, and the final score was the Oilers 17 and San Diego 14.
Why not celebrate the season with a new Century Limited sedan from your Buick dealer's Buick Holiday Get-Together?
It's the Buick Holiday Get-Together.
Right now is a good time to work out a deal on a new Century Limited sedan, Buick's little limousine.
It's the Buick Holiday Get-Together.
So see your Buick dealer today and really celebrate this season.
It's the Buick Holiday Get-Together. This bud for you, for being on the job and working hard all day. This bud for you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through. For all you do, this bud for you.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Houston eliminates San Diego. 6 teams are left in the playoffs. Here's the way the scoring went. The first points of the ball game came on a 1-yard run by Williams. 7-0 San Diego with 4:49 remaining in the first quarter. And at the end of the first quarter, it was 7-0. A field goal by Tony Fritsch of 26 yards with 4 minutes left in the half. The score at halftime was 10-7 in favor of Houston. Booby Clark went over from 1 yard out. San Diego regained the lead. Lydell Mitchell ran in for 8 yards, making the score 14-10. But a pass to Mike Renfro, good for 47 yards, brought about the final reading of 17-14. Houston won the game and will return in just a moment.